Hello everyone, Arcandy here. This is going to be a very special stream today. We are going to celebrate reaching the 1000 subscriber milestone on this channel. Thank you all so much for your support. On this stream today, we are going to do a any percent walkthrough. So basically whatever it is you've watched me do in my world record, we're going to do it slowly. We're going to take a very chill run through the any percent unrestricted route. I'm going to explain not everything. I am mostly gonna limit my explanations to tricks because we could spend like the whole day here debunking stuff and movement and all these minor things throughout the route. We're mostly gonna focus on the tricks. If you're live on the stream, you can come by and ask questions. If there's a trick that I haven't explained yet or am currently explaining, feel free to come by and ask questions, like ask how I do this, how I do that. If you're struggling with something, ask me and I'll explain and I'll let you fix whatever mistakes you're having. So this is a good opportunity for anyone to learn unrestricted. Keep in mind also that some of the tricks I'm gonna go over are also doable in no major glitch categories. So if there's something like a pseudo or water bomb jump or something simple like that you're having trouble with, just come by and I'll explain how to do everything. But yeah, I'm not gonna explain movement too much. Of course, if you're watching the stream live, feel free to ask questions about the movement as well if you want. I will try not to spend too much time on that because again, we could be all day here explaining things. The category is filled with tricks, filled with movement. Even though it is the fastest category, there's still a lot going on. So anyway, let's figure out what to do with the save files here. Obviously, I'm gonna skip the game's intro. No one cares about those 3 minutes of cutscene watching. I'm gonna oh my god, oh my god. I have to mention that my controller has snapback and drifting. I almost deleted my save data because snapback. You might see me die a few times in the run doing tricks because snapback and because drifting. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. That's why I haven't really taken speedrunning seriously in the last while. But anyway, it is what it is. Guys, I'm gonna copy the save file into slot 2. I'm also gonna copy it into slot 3. It's like I will probably be taking some checkpoints and saves throughout the run so I can come back and redo certain tricks. Like for instance the blobs and the pseudos, I'm not gonna be able to show everything like in one go because if I destroy the blob then I'll have to reset the checkpoint and do it again, yada yada, right? Okay, so let's get it started. Let's go ahead and start the run. I'm gonna start by explaining the first trick we're gonna come across, which is the tutorial skip. The part where we break this one blob to skip the first EMMI in the game, which is that broken EMMI that you'd have to do as a tutorial, which basically explains how you kill the EMMIs, what you do with the Omega Cannon, and whatnot. Anyway, most of the run is going to be movement. I will eventually edit this into a more, streamlined video after the stream's over. But for now, bear with me. We're going to go through these sections. There's not much to say, just Samus moves smoothly, and we're going to move smoothly up to all the tricks. Oh yeah, by the way, I should also mention that I am using a button remap. In case you're wondering if you guys are gonna try to do this on your own and everything, I am using, well actually I haven't enabled yet, so good thing I double checked. I usually use this preset, which is, I have the shooting buttons rebound to left and right D-pad, and I have the left control stick remapped to the right stick. So I'm gonna apply this, and I'm gonna show you what this does, just really quick. So I can use the D-pad to do mashing, which you're not gonna need to do a lot of mashing in this run, thankfully. And I also use the right stick to do some input. So I will explain when I do that. There are very few places in the run where I do it. But yeah, this really helps in those places. Alright, let's move on. Oh. Alright, don't do that. Move a little faster than me. Alright, I should say that most, like, in this area coming up, most people do this area from the right side. I do it left side. There is like a fraction of a second of time that I'm losing, but I just like to do it. Like it's literally 0.2 seconds to 0.2 seconds faster, not even to take this side over this. I know I could do that, but I feel like my muscle memory is just so ingrained at this point that whatever, right? Anyway, we've come to the first trick of the run, the tutorial EMMI skip. There are 2 ways or 3, yeah, something like that. 3 different ways in which you can put your shots through here that matter. So how does this work? When you slide with Samus and then you jump, Samus goes into this state where her collision box is a little shorter than it's supposed to be, and it doesn't fix itself until you change that state by, I don't know, free aiming, shooting, landing, basically doing another action that would interrupt that state somehow. It's not like I can explain that too deeply because, you know, they have to be a programmer and look into the code, etc. We don't even need to do that. But so, let's see, maybe I can explain this in another place. So because of that little difference in collision, we can actually fire shots through the ceiling a little bit. And one example of this would be right here. We can use the slide momentum to hit that blob from this side without having to go through. Because if you go through here, you can come back out. You are basically forced by the layout to go through and do the tutorial. So the fact that we can do this is going to save like 50 seconds to 1 minute immediately. That's just how nice this is, how convenient. So how do we do this? We want to slide, jump, and shoot. It's that simple. It may look that simple, but there is a lot going on here. Like there is timing. Keep in mind that I have lots of hours of practice and, you know, beating that muscle memory up to do this. I could almost do this with my eyes closed at this point. If you're starting, I would recommend that maybe you start, you know, with a little bit of distance. I will show you what this looks like when I do it in runs. I'll have to reset the checkpoint a few times to showcase this thing done differently. But you want to start here, like slide, jump, shoot. You're probably gonna fire into the ceiling many times like this until you get your timing correct. You want to shoot your shot basically when Samus is about to touch the ceiling. It's not something you can exactly react to. This happens very fast. It's a matter of like, I don't know, 5-6 frames. It's literally a fraction of a second. This is not something you're going to react to. It's something that you're going to learn to feel. You're going to repeat this input several times until you nail it. It's literally what it is. Regarding the direction of your shot, you want to be aiming forward, I believe. Yeah, you want to be aiming forward. I think that's about it. If you're shooting from below here, you want to be aiming forward. Now, I'm probably going to die doing the next shot because what happens is the collision shifts to down here. And in this game, if Samus is caught inside collision, the game immediately kills you as like a preventive measure from letting you roam around out of bounds. So there we go. We're dead. We're going to do this again. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like if you were going to, like if I were going to do this in a speed run. I'm not going to do that run up distance. I'm going to basically lean on the wall, slide and jump like very quickly so I don't, oh my god. Slide and jump very quickly so I don't go through the tunnel, but that just gives me the fastest retries. I'm going to show you what it looks like doing this fast in a run. Now actually wait. No, wait. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm gonna show the other method for clipping shots, which is a bit safer than doing the slide like into the ceiling here. You want to do the slide and jump onto this corner here, like onto this little thing. It's very similar. It's what we all do for at least the last shot, but you could technically do this for all the 4 shots. I know that when I learned this trick for the first time, what is it, like 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. That's how I learned this trick, because I didn't feel too confident about this. It's all too easy to like slide through this tunnel if you're not quick enough, but that is one way to do it. So you're gonna slide, jump into the corner. This is going to take some practice as well. You might jump too soon, you might jump too late. It is a process to get the right distances. Keep in mind that none of the tricks I'm going to show you today or most of the tricks that I'll show you today are not like instant learns. You're going to have to figure out muscle memory, timings, spacing, lots of things, and yeah, just be patient because most of these tricks aren't going to work the first time. So you're going to want to, for the one where you fire on this lower ceiling, you want to aim forward. But for this one, you want to aim slightly lower so that the shot starts like from the corner. You want to aim a little lower, like this, just a little bit. It's hard to explain because my controller has a lot of drifting. So I'm trying to aim, but the darn control stick keeps like shaking, like it's very flimsy. Anyway, so you want to aim slightly downward. If it helps, you can use free aim, but once you get used to this, you won't even need to free aim. So I wasn't actually doing this correctly, so that's how you do it correctly. You have to be a little, you need to have a little bit of patience to attack like this corner correctly with the correct distance, correct timing, everything. If you jump too soon, you're not going to be lined up. If you jump too late, you're probably going to hit the corner wrong. Like, you need to figure out the proper spot to jump on. So, another run through for this trick. I'm going to show you what it looks like done in a run with the slide, less spacing for the slide, and with the final shot done like from there. But I'll explain it correctly once we get there. Alright, so earlier I explained doing this slide from here, like that, but you can also do it from right here. And then you finish off by sliding, turning around, and then do, well, ideally you'd get it first shot, right? But yeah, you still have to get that slight angle. If you aim too low, it's not gonna hit. If you aim too high, of course, it's not gonna go into the blob. So it's a little harder for me to do this because of drifting, but it's more or less what you want to do. Like, you want to see the shot going more or less like through the hole there. That means you would have hit it right, or probably. Anyway, I'm gonna do this one more time, just done fast, so you can see what it looks like done quickly in a run. Also, I'll be back in a second. Just gonna share that we're doing this stream in the speedrun Discord in case anyone wants to come and ask about the tricks. Oh my, I just realized I was muted. I thought I unmuted the mic, so I'm gonna have to redo this trick unmuted. Oh my god. Welcome on in, Swooster. Is reloading the checkpoint like this the best way to practice? Or are there other walls where you can see visually if you are doing it right? It is a good question. So there are some tricks that you can just retry without going back to checkpoint due to their, nature, I guess. This one here, the best way to practice really is to go back to checkpoint because there may be layouts that are similar that you can do this. And there are indeed places that have a similar, like, I guess not in the map as I have revealed at this point, but I'm sure there are some layouts around the world, the game world that have a similar layout. Just the best way is to, of course, get the feedback from the blob. So you might be able to find layouts that let you get those shots. But the best confirmation is indeed to do checkpoint and have the blob there. Which makes this trick a little tiring to practice, but yeah. I mean, you can also just use this layout even after you blow up the blob. I actually gave a visual cue earlier, I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna remake that explanation because I happen to be muted. So we explained how to get the shot with a long distance slide into this part of the ceiling. Also, this with the second way to get the shot by firing on this corner as opposed to the lower ceiling. And now I'm gonna show you the last one, which is to get a like zero distance slide, jump, and shoot. And I should mention that you should make sure you pace this correctly. If I try to repeat the jumps too soon, usually I don't get the shot. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm just not like pacing myself correctly for that speed. But I get the feeling that anytime I try to do this repeat too fast, the shot just doesn't go through, even though I feel like I'm doing it correctly. There might be some leftover state or something if you do it too fast, but in any case, even if you have to be a little patient before you do your repeats, yeah, that's important to keep in mind. The last shot, once again, has to be on the outside. If you do it inside, you're gonna die to the collision. Like 99% chance you die. There have been some people who managed to do this trick and climb up without dying. It's like down to luck, lag. It's probably not gonna happen, so don't rely on that. And if you do the zero distance slide, you can finish the fourth shot from here. Instead of like going back out, you can slide from here, jump, turn around, and fire your shot. Right. I actually clipped the shots both times, but the first one I think I had a wrong angle, it didn't hit. Anyway, you were asking about other walls where you can see visually if you are doing it right. There's no wall left here, but if you try to go for the fourth shot, you can at least see if your shot is going the right direction. If it's going through the hole, that means you're aiming it right. But as for practicing the trick, obviously this doesn't really replace having the thing. But I don't know on the top of my head if there are similar layouts to this that you can use to practice. If we come to that later on in the run, I will I will mention that, but like, yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. All right, we're gonna save here because the next trick is gonna be immediately after this one. It is called the early Corpus, early cloak. It basically means that destroying this blob here is gonna give you access to Corpus, the boss fight that you're supposed to do last in Artaria 1. Basically is something that you do immediately at the start of the run. Now, there are two ways currently to do this blob. One of them is to borrow the tech we just used for the tutorial skip to hit this blob. And we would do it by sliding, jumping, changing directions, and using the slope here to put our shot through. So one thing I didn't explain before is that when you clip shots through the ceiling, you have about like a 10 to 15 degree leniency on you know, the highest shot you can put through is something like 10 to 15 degrees. And it's really hard for me to aim because my control stick has a lot of drifting. It just keeps pushing up and down. I can't aim exactly where I want to. But yeah, so normally you wouldn't be able to hit this blob. But if you got a ceiling slope like this, that changes things. Imagine that this slope is what, like 20 degrees? That means you can shoot a little bit higher than just the ceiling. So we're gonna have to use the slope to be able to hit that blob. So slide, jump, change directions, and shoot. This is a notoriously difficult trick. Top players do this because they have a lot of muscle memory, a lot of time practicing this trick. I'm struggling because I do this with the rebind. Remember earlier I said that I have rebinds on D-pad for mashing, but I also have a rebind on the left stick, on the right stick to mirror the left stick. And this is where I use that. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I need some water. I'm just choking here. Jeez. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I thought I had filled my cup, but I did not. So I was gonna say, so this is how we do it. Slide, turn around, aim. It's especially hard for me to do this trick because control is drifting. So it's really hard for me to keep a steady angle to this side, especially on demand. See, like I'm trying to aim one direction, but she keeps aiming up and down. And this blob is actually kind of precise. Like the angle you need for this is kind of precise. So what I do here is so if you want to use the rebind, you can, if you want to do this slowly with the rebind, you free aim. Now you're gonna aim with the right stick, like this. You want to aim roughly at 40 something degrees, 30, 45. It's a bit hard to explain. I don't have, like, I've never made a specific setup for this. Like, I just, when I do this in runs, I actually just, like, as soon as I jump up here, I look at the controller, set up my angle right here, and then I do this. That's it. That's how I do it. So I don't have a particular setup to do this slowly, like any kind of reference for the angle. I just look at the controller and I push the stick and I see where I'm aiming. Like my visual cue is the controller itself. It's not the, like there's no particular visual cue in the game. It's literally just looking at the controller and roughly aiming where I know I should be aiming. Amateurish author, as someone who wants to get started with the speedrun, thank you a ton for making a new guide. Yo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the guide. I will definitely trim this down later after the live stream, like, you know, streamline the tricks a little bit and everything. So it's not as long as it will probably be at the end of the live stream, and hopefully make it even a little bit easier. You also, Metro, same. So you also use the controller as a visual cue. Let's reset back to checkpoint so I can show more stuff. All right, now if you guys want to do this slowly, let me see if I can figure out a way to like set up this angle. It's something like this. Is there? So if you like lean on the door, like just walk up to the door, aim. Like if you press free aim, Samus push yourself back. I think you want to aim up to this part of the door, like just above the power circle, and then you go sideways and aim like this. I think that's No, that's actually too high. Damn, that is not good. No, this should actually be good. Like, it's on the top of the circle. This should actually work. Let's see. Yeah, it's tough. Anyway, I'm actually just gonna explain the trick a bit more in depth because I think it's worth more than getting a. This is not gonna work because this trick is a bit more complicated than that. You need. I want you guys to understand why this trick is hard, and I don't think it's actually feasible to make a consistent setup because, yeah, this trick is just hard. Anyway, why is this trick hard? You have this slope here, and we don't have any particularly good ways like to set up. And the hard part is, look at what we're gonna do. We're gonna slide, jump, turn around, right? Slide, jump, turn around. You're probably gonna be doing this differently every time. Either the slide is longer, or the jump is longer, or the timing in which you turn around is different. Like, there are several different variables at play when you're doing this trick in this way. So even if we come up with a specific position and a specific whatever, you're going to be doing this in a different way every single time. Unless you're one of the top runners, which, like, they just do this very consistent like machines because their muscle memory is that worked, right? But if you're starting out, you're not going to have that. You're going to have to figure things out as you go. And it's important to understand that every time you do this, your outcome is going to be different. That's why this trick has always been very difficult to do. And so that means if your jump is different every time, that also means the angle that you want to hit the blob is also going to be different every time. Think of it this way. If you're going to clip your shot like here, you would want your shot to go like 45 degrees to hit the blob. And I think that's already too high, or borderline too high. You also have to ram yourself into a corner midair, aim the opposite way, and shoot in a specific angle. It's complicated. Exactly, yeah. That's exactly what makes this trick hard and kind of variable. And that's what we're in the process of explaining. From here, you'd probably want something like a 45-degree angle, which is probably already too high, even with this slope. So that clearly isn't going to work. So imagine you jump a little later, and you turn around, and now you'd want something like a, I don't know, not even a 30-degree angle. So basically, the further away you are from the blob, the lower the angle that you want to hit it, and the closer you are to it, then you'll want a higher angle. That means in practice, you're gonna want something in between like those 30 degrees and 40-something degrees, depending on which point of the ceiling you hit. Lower angle from that point up to a higher angle up to no longer possible, probably. Roughly. This is all roughly. Like, I'm not showing any exact measurements, but it's just like the gist of it. And if you're gonna do this trick, that's probably gonna be enough. So if you just retry and everything, you see the shot's clipping, you see that the shot went through, but it wasn't the correct angle. Yeah, that happens too. Hey, I got it twice. Perfect. Let me redo the... So I'm gonna explain two methods. This is like just the... You can do it this way. I know Satorha I believe Delusional Prince does it too. You can just like slide turn around and get the shot. The top runners do that. It's technically the fastest way to do it. You just repeat fast. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, like that. It's technically the fastest way to do it. You just slide, jump, hit, repeat. It's very fast to repeat. But if you want more consistency to this, you will want to use the rebind method. Now, rather than having any specific visual cue, I will recommend that you look at your controller, hold free aim, look at the controller, push your stick in a direction, and keep it that way. And what you're gonna do now is, as long as you're touching the left controller, the left control stick, the right stick's input is ignored. Right now, I'm still keeping that angle. If I let go of the left stick, bam, I just get that angle instantly, right? That's the cool thing about the rebind method. I don't get it instantly because drifting, you can see the controller's like drifting a little bit before it goes to here, but that's just my controller. If you don't have as much snapback or drifting, you're probably just gonna get it instantly. And that also explains why I don't get this sometimes. God dang it. Anyway, you want to keep it in this angle. It's probably going to take you a while to figure out like a good grip and everything to do this. So you're going to run to the right, slide, jump, release your left stick, and then fire. I also have my shooting bound to left and right D-pad. You could use Y to shoot, but I prefer using the D-pad because it's just, you know, my right hand is stuck holding the angle. My left hand does the movement and the shooting, thanks to that rebind. So this actually gives me a lot more stability. If I needed to fire with Y, there's a good chance I would lose my angle because I'm also using the right hand. So let's do this. Walk left, jump, release left stick, and shoot. Yo. If your shots aren't going through, you can either adjust your angle, or you can try to remember what I said about the angles, like the difference in angles. You can try to hit the ceiling earlier, like you can go here if you have a steep angle, or you can go a little farther if your angle is lower. So you can either work on your positioning if your shots aren't going through, or you can try again and like just set your angle from the start until it starts going through like this. Even if you have destroyed the blob, you can practice this trick. This is what you want to see. Your shot comes out from like the corner there. Obviously, that's not exactly the same as having the blob, because maybe this would hit collision that's not the blob. So yeah, you will still want to reset the checkpoint to make sure that the hits are counting and everything. But yeah, even if you have destroyed the blob, you can continue to practice at the very least the inputs. And you can, once you feel comfortable doing this, you can reset the checkpoint, put the blob there, and actually do the shots and see if they are actually hitting. So with that, you should already be able to do this trick. Now, there is another way to do this. This is a pseudo trick that's been discovered recently called the Seam Pseudo. It is also going to be used in a trick exclusively in Ceries, but for this trick, it's an alternative that you literally will be able to do first time you try, because it's a lot simpler to understand. Let me just remember how to do this. I'm gonna try to do a setup by DLC, which is you open the door, you jump against the wall in free aim so that you stop moving sideways as you fall. Then dash melee out. 1, 2, 3. No, wait. I might need to actually look this up on Discord because it's been a while. I did not make this setup, so I don't remember all the steps. So bear with me, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna explain properly. Okay, I found it. So the setup is by DLC. So he stops at the door. Actually slides, not a melee. Okay. Okay, now let's explain that again. You want to jump to the wall, free aim. No, oh my god, not dash melee. You want to jump to the wall, free aim, so you stop moving sideways, slide forward, one step forward, and now what happens is this is a seam between hard and soft collision. And what happens here is, if we're aiming the cannon with free aim like this, for just a moment we can put a missile through the ceiling. Oh. Let's see if I can nail it. Timing's a bit different. Okay, I got it. Timing's a bit different from the one in Ceries, so having a little trouble with it. Maybe I'm not correctly lined up. Yeah, I think I'm not actually well lined up. Let me do that again. I'm not doing this right. Wait, I'm supposed to be a little bit further. What am I not doing right here? I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Well, I guess this is something that if you're gonna try to do this, you're probably gonna run into these things too, so it's fine that I'm having issues. shows you how to solve them. You can just send missiles through the ceiling. So the way this works is I really just want it to be on the correct positioning so I can show the shots like going through with ease. Okay, this should be, so this is the visual cue you wanna see here. Samus is just a few pixels away from that like board on the floor. But I'm gonna work out the setup real quick. So the way this works is if you enter free aim in midair, so you don't have free aim enabled yet, you jump and free aim in midair and aim at 45 degrees. This is something you can use a pause buffer for. So you jump and pause near the ceiling. Wait, actually, let me pause with plus so you can see it properly. So you aim around 45 degrees. Let's see. So you hold free aim, Y, and then unpause. Actually, I missed the missiles. So let's do it again. Let's do that again. Jump and pause. You want to pause when you're close to the ceiling before you hit the ceiling. So hold R to fire the missile. Hold L for free aim. Aim 45 degrees. Y. And if you have any fingers left, press plus to unpause. And that is the Seam Pseudo. Because you can use a pause buffer to do this, this is manageable. You're like, even if you're not very comfortable doing tricks in this game, you can probably get this within a few minutes of trying, like maybe 10 minutes of trying this. Does the missile clip not work with the cannon? No, yeah, it works through the cannon, but it works because like the first frame or two of the free aiming gives you, like, puts the cannon like through the ceiling, I guess. And after those frames, it doesn't clip through anymore. That's why this doesn't work if you hold free aim and jump. This is not gonna work. You have to hold free aim in midair. Like that. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna try to do it without the pause buffer so you can see it more clearly. And I'm gonna do it with a pause buffer again so we can repeat that experience. You can still make inputs in the pause menu. Yeah, we use pause buffers. We use pause menu to buffer lots of inputs in a lot of tricks. It's optional for some things. It's practically mandatory for others. There are some pseudos we'll see later that if you're not using the pause buffer, you're not gonna do it because it's a literal one frame thing that enables this to happen. This trick is not a one frame thing. You have a few frames in which you can do inputs, but yeah, you definitely want to you have a few frames to make this work. And I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong. Okay, I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm waiting before the slide. So I was like landing and sliding. No, you want to slide as soon as you land. And then take a full step. Wait, I still did it wrong. Oh my god, that's not looking consistent to me though. Okay. This is not looking consistent. I've tried to do this before, this setup by DLC, and it felt consistent, but now it's not feeling very consistent. I think it's because my controller has a lot of snapback, and I'm just not getting the shots through. I'm probably just gonna have to do this with pause buffers for now because, yeah. This drifting is really making it hard to get the aim working properly. Let me just double check that I'm in the correct position. Yeah, like what I see in DLC's clip is that he's just a few pixels further than I'm getting, I think. Or maybe it's more or less the same. Anyway, I'm gonna do it with the pause buffer so I can get a more clear explanation. You want to hold B, like press B and hold, pause before you hit the ceiling, like just before you hit the ceiling. I think that should be good enough. Press R to engage missiles. Press L for free aim. Aim about 45 degrees. Press Y and plus to unpause. So that's the gist of it. I didn't get it, but that's the inputs you want to see. So let's do it again. That's too early. I think that should be good. R for missile, L for free aim, 45 degrees up on diagonal left and up, right and up, I mean. Y to fire, plus to unpause. Oh, I accidentally hit B. That didn't go right. Do it again. Jump and pause. R for missiles, L for free aim. Aim right up around 45 degrees. Press Y and unpause with plus. I think I think I'm just not getting it if I'm not in the exact position that I'm supposed to be. Okay, let me just figure out whatever I'm doing wrong with this setup, because it does feel like I'm. Oh, no, I got it, but I feel like I'm not getting in the exact position I want to. I feel like it should be a few pixels further to the left. I remember labbing this back when it got found. This was found around April. It's been a few months now, chat. This has existed for a few months now. Okay, let me see how he does it. So he jumps, free aim to cancel the momentum. Full slide, so full buffered slide. No, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, but I don't think this is the correct position. Okay, I'm gonna recommend this setup then. Jeez. I think it's not as fast as what DLC does, but I can't seem to get the exact distance that he's getting for some reason. Is the missile strat easier to do than in jump? Yeah, this is a lot easier. I'm gonna show you why. So this is not gonna be as fast as DLC strategy, because you would just like go into the room like this, like very fast. Oh, now I got it. I think now I got it. But anyway, another way you can do this is that you push against the door, free aim, you get that push, right? Now you want to jump to the left, do a full jump, like left and B, hold down B, maximum, then take one step to the left. And this is the perfect distance. It's not as fast a setup as what DLC is doing, like he gets the setup while going into the room. You have to come in and wait for the door to close, so this is kind of slow to do, but it gives you really good distance. You want the corner of the shoe to be on the corner of that like board on the floor. That's a good visual cue for this. So let's try this again. If you do it with this setup, the angle and everything is going to be really easy. You also have to be careful not to move away from this position, or you'll have to redo the setup. So like when you hold free aim and everything, make sure that Samus lands, and the last input you want to release is free aim. Let me go through the inputs again. What's up, Mindstormer? Saw that when you first started using it in the run, I was sort of freaking out because it's a very clean setup. I don't actually use this setup in the run because I'm very used to the slide and jump, so I still do that. But if I were to start running this game now, I would be using the Seam Suit because it's so much easier to do, and it's a lot easier to troubleshoot it. If something is wrong, it's very easy to see what you're doing wrong. So let's do this again. Jump and pause near the ceiling. R for missiles, L for free aim. Aim about 45 degrees towards upper right. Press Y to fire a shot, unpause, and that's it. I did all the inputs right, but you still saw the shot going into the ceiling. I was probably too high, or either I aimed too high or I was probably too close to the ceiling. So maybe pause like a little earlier. Let's try that again. Missile, free aim, aiming, fire, and unpause. Same thing. I probably paused too early or aimed too high. Let's try to do it again. I'm gonna try pausing a little earlier before the ceiling, like here. Let's see if that works. No, that didn't work. Damn, let's keep going. This is basically what you're gonna have to do until you figure out everything. Okay, not 40 degrees, more like 60 degrees. Yeah, okay. More like, maybe I wasn't doing 45 correctly, but a little bit above 45 then. I think that's it. Use it before green EMMI. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, that one I do of course with the Seam Pseudo. That one can only be done with the Seam Pseudo. 55, yeah, more like it. I was saying 45, but it's more like a little higher. Yeah. So but this is what you guys are gonna do if you practice on your own. If your shots aren't hitting, they're hitting the ceiling. You're either doing this step too early, like not close enough to the ceiling, or your angle is off. So you're gonna have to figure out how to correct your everything. So push away from the door, spin jump to the left, one step to the left, and we're set up. Let's do it again. Pause, missile, free aim, aim upper right, about 50-ish degrees. Y, and unpause. All right, let's try to aim a little higher this time. Perfect. I think I paused a bit late. Let's try again. Oh yeah, another thing I want to mention is that always make sure that you undo your inputs. Make sure the last one you undo is free aim so that you don't leave this spot. Because you need to be at a very precise position for the cannon to clip the seam. So if you accidentally move to the left or the right, whatever, just get off that position. You have to redo the setup. And this setup is only doable if this thing is not broken, because you actually like bounce off the ceiling to get into the proper spot. So what's up, Saliath? Is it not easier to go off the ledge and do the shot? No, it's a lot more complicated. You have so many variables to consider. Like, it's where exactly in the ceiling you're hitting. Like, the things that come into play is when exactly you jump from the slide, where you start from the slide, where you turn around in midair, where exactly you hit the ceiling. All those variables lead up to the point where you hit the ceiling. And that makes the trick a lot less... like, okay, think of it this way. It may still be faster to do this trick, but the Seam Pseudo is a lot easier to understand and do it first try. Like, you're probably going to have to spend hours and hours on end to get even a semblance of consistency on the slide jump shoot. But with the Seam Pseudo tech, you're going to try this for 5 minutes and you're going to get it immediately. That's it. If you're learning this for the first time, do the Seam Pseudo tech. If you want to do speedruns for this, eventually, one day, maybe, go for the slide jump shoot. But if you've never done this before, just do the Seam Pseudo. It is absolutely not easier to do the slide jump shoot. Absolutely not. 100% not easier. Yeah, exactly. You'll see runners like getting these two shots straight in a row. I'm not using the rebind right now, so there's a good chance I won't get the shot. I normally use the rebind, but yeah, you can get that, or you could spend like a few minutes even getting the one shot to hit. Alright, now I'm gonna try to do this without the pause buffer. It's tough for me again because my control stick drifts a little bit, but bear with me. I'm gonna try to do it so you can see what happens without the pause. Because yeah, the pause buffer it might seem like this is really hard to do with the pause buffer. It's not. The pause buffer makes everything a lot easier, because doing this without the pause buffer means that you have to manage the inputs without any crutches, right? Damn, I'm having a lot of difficulty. This used to be very easy. Okay. This used to be very easy for me before my controller started drifting so much. If your controller is not drifting, chat, you're gonna find this a lot easier to do than me. No joke. I used to be able to do the categories one unbuffered super fast, but I don't know if it works that way anymore. Not to mention this one is on the opposite direction from the one in categories. I think the drifting is worse to the right than to the left. Alright. And we got that unbuffered just for the showcase. So that is early cloak pseudo or early corpus pseudo, whatever you want to call that. Breaking this gives us access to this area, which you're normally supposed to do as like the last thing in Artaria 1. You come out from the EMMI zone after beating the EMMI, and then you do Corpus, but we're going to do Corpus first. That's literally what this Artaria route is called, Corpus first. So the next trick we're going to see is called Water Slope Skip. It'll be like a couple minutes until we get there, so let's just beat this boss without Charge Beam. Without Charge Beam is a little tricky. Only damage you have is missiles. You want to make sure not to miss too many shots. This isn't actually that bad in rookie mode though. If you were playing this in normal, you only have 15 missiles, so you can get stuck. But in rookie mode, this is a lot more lenient. By the way, guys, chat, if you have any questions about the tricks that I'm doing, of course, I won't be going back to do early Corpus and to drill skip, but any of the tricks coming up, if you got any questions about them, feel free to shoot. I'll try to explain. If you're having any struggles, I'll try to explain how to correct them and everything, so now's a good time. I noticed in runs that Invisible is used a ton. Why is that? It isn't used a ton. There are a few places where we do use it, but it is in those few places we use it. There is a reason for that. We might want to escape the field of vision of some enemy out there, or it is actually useful for clipping, or in particular for the trick that we're going to do right next. We're going to do the water slope skip, and we use Phantom Cloak to make it a lot easier. Phantom Cloak makes you move slower in the horizontal axis, and that's actually very useful in that trick coming up. We're going to see it right next. Oh my goodness. Alright, so trick is called Water Slope Skip, and it is right here. So, if you've played this game casually, you may have tried this for a while. You may have tried to like just jump out here, but it doesn't work. No matter how hard you try, you just can't get there. So this trick uses a thing called the slope jump, or slope tech. Slope tech, yes. So if you're holding free aim and hit a slope, you can actually jump frame 1. Otherwise, if you hit a slope and try to jump, your jump kind of gets delayed a little bit. Like, I landed here, I didn't jump until I was almost halfway down. But if I have free aim, I can technically jump frame 1 as I hit the slope. Or, well, any frame really, but that's the difference maker here. If you do that, you can jump a lot earlier. Let's see what it looks like jumping frame 1 here. Oh, I'm not getting the timing right. Hold on. Alright, there it is. I grazed the corner. I grazed the corner again. So getting to frame 1 is you actually bonk the ceiling there. So you want to like frame 1 jump. Am I getting old or something? My goodness, I just can't get this. I don't even want to do the full trick. I just want to show what it's like to get that frame 1 jump. Okay, that. You actually just touch the corner there, like the ceiling. Not even the corner, you actually touch the ceiling. I keep getting like frame 2s and frame 3s, but not frame 1s. What is wrong with me? Yo, thank you for the good luck, Sonic. How's it going? Chad, this guy is Sonic Orochi. Sonic has found many tricks in this game. We're gonna learn his trick later on. His trick is called Atom Skip. Everybody knows about Atom Skip. He found it. Alright, anyway, I just wanted to show you what it's like to get that frame 1 jump. It's not very important, but it shows you the difference between not doing that slope tech and doing the slope tech. But I'm just not getting this timing for some reason. Oh my goodness. Oh no! What? Okay, I need to calibrate my timings and my inputs because I should have been able to at least hit the ceiling 1 time. I'm not even hitting. Okay, that's what you want to see. Okay, that is what you want to see. So, this is the first step to understanding this trick. You need to be able to nail that frame 1 jump very nicely. Just like that. This is the first thing if you guys want to do this trick, this is the first thing I want you to practice. Literally just practice this jump. And reason not to do this on Twitch as well, this is a 1,000 subscriber milestone celebration stream, so it's a YouTube exclusive for today. I will go back to streaming to both YouTube and Twitch, of course, but this stream is just for YouTube today. So yeah, that is the first thing you want to do. You want to make sure you get that frame 1 jump consistent, because the next part is also a little tough. So let's see if I can do this without the cloak, just for a showcase. No, actually, no. Let me explain this with cloak because I was mentioning it earlier, and it's also a lot easier. So what you want to do is, we were sliding, jump, frame 1, and whatever, right? What we want to do is we want to get that frame 1 jump and then respin to the right so we can get on the platform. Let's see if I can do that. It's not going to work, but at least we're going to try, right? I just want to show it what it's like to do that part without any more steps. This is why I want you to get comfortable with doing that frame 1 jump. You have to make sure, so that's what you want to see. You have to make sure you're holding free aim and then jump on frame 1, release free aim, hit the ceiling, and respin. That's what you want to see. That's exactly a good attempt. That's what a good attempt should look like. That's what a good attempt should look like. You basically get Samus like spinning over the slope like that. That's what you want to see. Alright, so this is not working because this trick done without Phantom Cloak is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. You have to jump on a specific frame of the Coyote jump. You have to be on a specific position to even get a chance to do this correctly. You have to do that frame 1 slope jump, which is frame perfect. And you have to do the respin. You have to let go of free aim after you jump and respin to the right as you touch the ceiling. So you basically have like, there's actually 3 frames where this works, but 1 frame is the frame. So 1 frame, 1 frame, 1 or 2 frames. So it's basically a triple frame perfect trick, granted that you're doing the correct positioning before you even attempt this. So this is extremely difficult done cloakless. I'm gonna give it a few attempts to get it. I might even get it. After all, I came up with the setup. But this is where Phantom Cloak makes this trick a lot easier, and I'm going to explain why. So this is the trick done without cloak. Keep in mind, this is very difficult to do. I already have a full tutorial on this, so if you want more information on this trick, feel free to check that tutorial. I will link this in chat just in case someone's curious about this and wants to check later. I will also put this in the description eventually when I transform this into a archived video. But yeah, the reason why Phantom Cloak is going to make this easier is that when you have Cloak on, you move more slowly horizontally. So what Phantom Cloak is going to do is we're going to slide Phantom. See the difference? We are keeping the original movement speed with Cloak here after doing the slide Coyote. But once we hit the slope and jump, we become slow. So we're full steam ahead onto that top of the slope. First frame jump, slow down, hit the ceiling, and bam, platform. And magic, it just became a lot easier. So bonus points if you manage to uncloak after you jump, which is what I'm trying to do. I try to uncloak immediately after the jump so that I start gaining more speed to the right. You probably don't want to uncloak too early. You want to uncloak like about the time you touch the ceiling. So you want to minimize your distance to the left, and maximize your distance to the right. So you ideally want to uncloak on the ceiling. It's kind of hard because uncloaking is done by pressing the right control stick. It's a bit awkward. If you don't get a frame 1 jump, you're gonna get these attempts. You really want to get that frame 1 jump, but then this part becomes so much easier. So the difference between doing this cloaked and cloakless is that cloakless is basically triple frame perfect, and having the cloak, I don't know how precise it is, but it's a lot less precise than doing it cloakless. You can also do the same setup for cloakless on cloaked. It makes everything easier, but it's not necessary. You can literally just like come down, slide, and boom, and you get it with cloak. But yeah, so I do have a full tutorial on water slope skip. I won't spend much more time on this. If you want to see more details, actually, let me just find the video. I said I was gonna post it in chat. I'm gonna do that. Here's. Okay, there it is. It's in chat, but I will also put it in the description. You can watch that later. We're gonna go ahead into the next trick, which is right here. So normally, you would do this area by coming here, pressing this button, maybe escape the EMMI if the EMMI is there, but the EMMI is not here. Keep in mind that when you do early cloak pseudo here, you go straight to Corpus, and normally you would have gone down here, hit this door, and then there's a cutscene here where you activate the white EMMI. We have skipped it. In the route we have taken this far, we have skipped activating the EMMI, and so we go through EMMI free. It's not even the EMMI zone, it's semi-zone, because there is no EMMI. And so you're here for free. And you don't have the EMMI to bother you at all. Anyway, this is how you would normally clear this section. You press that water platform thingy, you go through the slide, cool, right? But there's a better way. It's called the water platform skip, because you skip pressing the water. You skip raising the water platform and pressing that button right here. So how do you get up there? Wait, let me do it again. Like that. You get up there like that. You do this, you don't have to press this button. You gain 6 seconds if you do it first try. This is 6 seconds faster. I counted it myself, yes. How does this work? You want to do a full jump to the wall. And when you're at the peak of the jump, you want to do a few things. First thing you want to do is you want to wall jump at the peak, so get comfortable with that timing. There is no specific positioning. Like, it really doesn't matter. There's no specific positioning. It just as long as you do the peak wall jump, that's fine. What you want to do is you want to do that wall jump at the peak followed by a melee. Like you want to you're always pushing to the right, jump, peak, wall jump, melee, like that. If you're doing this, it's correct. So hold down B until you're at the peak. Oh, did I just get a no wall jump or what? So get comfortable with this step. And the next thing is going to be, when we touch the ceiling, we want to respin onto the right. Like that. Actually, your respin gets buffered halfway through the melee animation. So even if you press B a little earlier, it still gets buffered right in the correct point. The hardest part in this trick is getting the wall jump into melee. You want to press B immediately followed by X, like as little interval as possible, like BX, like just like that. I usually do this by putting like the middle part of my thumb on B and the nail on X and like just XB. You have to make sure you do this order correctly because obviously if you press X before B, you're not going to get a wall jump. So this has to be done very quick, in very quick succession. Then to get the respin, you have to press B in the middle of the melee animation. There's part of the melee animation is not cancelable and the second part is cancelable. So like if you press X, Samus has a pretty long winded animation, but if I press B in the middle, she interrupts it halfway. So part of the animation is not skippable, and if you press inputs during that part of the animation, they get buffered and then you cancel the animation. That's what's happening here. I will press B to cancel and respin, and this is what happens. So the last step is, as you're coming down, you want to do a buffered wall jump. What is a buffered wall jump? If you're jumping near the wall, any wall jump, you see those white rings of impact? They're basically glued to the wall, right? But if you jump going towards the wall, like you're away from the wall and go to the wall, you press B just before you touch the wall, and that is a buffered wall jump. It's hard to tell, especially with this camera angle, but those white rings are now like a little bit off of the wall. That is a buffered wall jump. So what you want to do now is, as you come down, you want to get that buffered wall jump. So you press B just before you hit the wall, and then all you do is hold right. So if you do it correctly, it's something like this. I think there's a bit of leniency. Sometimes a non-buffered wall jump may work, but ideally that's what you want to see. That's it. That's how you do the trick. That's water platform skip. This one is very easy to learn. The setup has several steps, but it is none of it is super involved. As long as you understand everything that has to happen, this is something that you should be able to get like, I don't know, half an hour of practice. It's hard for me to get a good estimate because I've been doing this trick for years now. Actually, I'm the one who found this trick, thanks to the tech that Sonic Orochi found for another trick that we're going to see soon. But yeah, let's do it one last time. This is how I would do this in a run. Again, there is no specific setup. As long as you do that peak wall jump, into melee, into respin, everything, right? I just do it fast like this. And off we go. Off to the next thing. Now, we don't have any tricks until... I don't know. I think the next trick is called MAGA skip. It was found by... I think was Torvus who found it. It was also intensely labbed by B-Dog and Sonic Orochi. B-Dog figured out how to do it with the melee. I know Bane, one of the Japanese runners, figured out a consistent setup for MAGA skip, but Sonic made it easier with the melee. And I stole that melee tech to make that water platform skip doable. So we're going to take this E-Tank. I might not be taking this E-Tank in an unrestricted run if I'm feeling good. But for the purposes of demonstrating everything, I think it's better to have it. Can also cover the movement between tricks when you break this down into pieces. I don't really want to because there's a lot to cover. Like, I don't want to be explaining why I'm doing every jump the way I'm doing, but if you want to get a gist of it, I can give you a very quick rundown of what optimal movement, of what goes into optimal movement. Like, Samus moving on the ground is the fastest. Samus moving in the air is not very fast. So ideally, your perfect movement is going to be like minimizing your air time, right? There's a difference between doing a full jump onto the platform and jumping just enough. So that's why you want to do it. Literally lots of muscle memory to get down exactly how long you need to press B in order to climb a platform. So this is slow, this is fast. So basically, that's what we're going to be doing, just minimizing our air time. And if I need to climb a ledge, I'm going to press B immediately as soon as I hit the ledge. Like, just tap B. So another thing is, this is slow, this is fast, right? If you don't hop off the ledge immediately, Samus does this slow climb. That is, of course, also slow. So you jump just onto the ledge, quickly tap B as you grab it, and you hop over it. That's called a quick hop or quick climb. And so basically, a lot of the run is just doing these jumps fast. And now I don't need to explain any more of the movement because like 90% of the game is just that. Oh, I messed up. See? All the stuff that I explained, just pressing B the right amount of time, quickly grabbing ledges and everything, that is fast. Sometimes you'll see me doing dash melees because it just puts me on platforms a little faster or covers more distance than other stuff would. So you'll see me doing slides off of ledges or dash melees to cover a bit more distance while I'm falling. Yeah. Quick charge, by the way. Oh yeah! I forgot to explain the quick charge! No! That is such a minor trick that I actually forgot. Okay, Sonic has a good point. I'm gonna take a short detour here to explain quick charges. So I just explained that doing this hop is probably slow, but in this case, we're skipping this platform and it's actually a little bit faster than doing the quick climb and then falling down here. There are some exceptions like this where you do the quick hop and it might not be the fastest thing. Some things are case by case, right? In here, I actually do a full jump off the ledge to skip the platform completely, and that is a little bit faster. Anyway, quick charges, right? Normally it takes this amount of time to fully charge your charge beam. If you try to shoot earlier, it just gives you a little shot, uncharged shot. Quick charging, there are two ways to do it. One is turning around. As soon as you see the beam starting to form on the tip of the cannon, you turn around and let loose. And that's like half the charge time. That's a quick charge with turnaround. There's another way to do it, which is spinning. As soon as you see that the beam forming on the tip of the cannon, you spin and fire. Well, you don't actually have to see it. As long as you know the timing in which that happens, you could already be in midair. It's a bit harder to demonstrate. So this is a lot faster than that, right? You're gonna see me doing a few quick charges throughout the run, but this is not even a glitch. This is something that is allowed in glitchless. It's just a very minor optimization tech, but it is no glitch. All right, now we're gonna come down to MAGA skip. I'm going to explain 2 ways of doing it. And this is a nice trick to practice because you don't have to do any kind of checkpoint resets or anything. This is MAGA skip. Normally, it would not be possible to make it up to this ledge. It's out of reach. You'd probably need spin boost, space jump, bombs, flash shift, any number of other abilities that we of course don't have access to in Artaria. How does this work? You need to get a buffered wall jump. Remember when we were doing water slope skip? No, water platform skip. The last wall jump you want it to be a buffered wall jump. This time you want your first wall jump to be a buffered wall jump at a specific height. There's like a little range that works as long as you do all the other inputs correctly. First, I'm going to explain how to do this with a consistent setup. So you lean on the wall, then you turn around and melee. Then you want to add a jump onto the end of that melee. So you turn around, melee, and jump to the right. So again, lean on the wall, turn around, melee, jump, that's it. Now we're going to add the next step. We're going to buffer a wall jump at the end of that jump. So lean, turn around, melee, jump, buffered wall jump, right? Now we're going to add the same steps we were doing for the water platform skip. You do a buffered wall jump, straight into melee, respin, and grab the ledge. So, no, wait. And that's it. One thing to keep in mind is you don't want to do this turnaround. You don't want to do the melee too soon. You want to turn around and melee. You don't want to like do it at the same time because that doesn't give you a good distance, I believe. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, whatever. So you want to press B near the end of the melee. You don't want to press B too early to jump. You want to press B almost when you're at the end. You can press it a bit earlier. You can actually buffer this input. So lean on the wall, turn around, melee, jump, buffer, melee, and that's it. You do that respin, grab the ledge, and you're always holding right. You are never holding left except for the initial melee. Otherwise, you're always holding the right direction. And that's it. If you do it with a consistent setup, this is pretty simple as long as you understand the other steps. So you press B into a full jump, so you just hold down B, then release to wall jump melee, respin, and that's it. If you watch top runners like Satora, Delusional Prince, they will do something like this. They will dash melee over this ledge to skip it, and they will just jump directly on the wall. Let's see if I can nail that, and do it like this. The reason why this is hard to do is that you need to understand how long you have to press B depending on where you land. You might not always land the same way. It just comes down to practice and muscle memory, so that's why it's not consistent. It really just comes down to practice and getting used to the inputs and everything. I do it this way, double dash melee into here, and that's that. I don't think the double melee is faster than just one melee into the bottom, jump, and do the trick. And do it however you find it's more comfortable. If you think this is more comfortable, do that. It's very consistent. It always gets that consistent wall buffered wall jump, so do that. It is like 1 second faster to do it without the setup, but if you're not that pressed for time, then whatever. Can you slide off the platform and carry jump? No, I don't think it's even close. I mean, you might be able to like buffer a wall jump with that. I've never really considered it. Let's see if that works. That would be kind of cool. I can't even get the wall jump. I think it just doesn't connect. Yeah. Wait at least 1 frame before the turnaround melee. Yeah, that was something I was trying to mention earlier, but I didn't quite put it into good words. Yeah, you don't want to like press left and X at the same time, because that makes you hit the slope there. Yeah, you want to give it a couple frames at least 1 frame before you do the rest of the trick. If you do it too fast, you might actually just bump the slope there. But it's really a small difference. And my muscle memory is just... I just got this in my muscle memory already. I kind of unconsciously do that delay. If you just go too fast, this is what happens. You will bump the slope there. So wait at least 1 frame. It's really not hard to do this. There are something like 5 frames to the turnaround animation, so you're good to melee on any of those frames. Just don't left melee at the same time. You might think that's unlikely, but when you're doing inputs and you think you have to do them fast, we're capable of doing things very quickly. So yeah, once you get past here, you can do a melee to skip this platform, and off we go. So this is that section I mentioned earlier that we enter here and we activate the EMMI, and that's why we have to do MAGA skip. We need to do this to activate and spawn the EMMI. Otherwise, if we proceed to the central unit's room, which we could with the pseudo here, if we proceed without spawning the EMMI, we actually cannot finish the game because the EMMI won't spawn for the fight. So once you finish MAGA skip, you come out here, re-enter, and trigger the EMMI. One more thing I want to explain. If I were to keep going, the EMMI would be trying to pathfind to me, but it's impossible, so the game lags a lot. See that? The game's lagging so much. I'm gonna reset the checkpoint to show you what you can do about this. So, before we leave this room, we dash melee. You don't free aim here, so you just dash melee aim up. From the place that the game checkpoints you at, you dash melee and aim up. You don't need free aim, you just aim straight up. Like this. And you destroy that blob. You don't need free aim, you just stop exactly at the right spot. And now we do the rest of the way into the central unit, and off we go. Right, so I'm using mashing and weaving to defeat the central unit. It is fast. You can use just beams or just missiles, whatever feels comfortable to you, but weaving with missiles is pretty fast. Now we're just going to defeat the enemy using one of the faster kills. Oh, I messed it up. I almost got it. I stopped firing like 2 or 3 shots before I got it. Let's try that again. How do you mash and weave cannon in missiles? Good question, Metroid. So remember that well, actually, I can't show it right now because I have the Omega Cannon. I'm gonna show it after I beat the enemy. I think I'm a little too far into the platform. I probably have to slide. Yeah. This is a part of movement I guess I can explain a little bit. You want to climb those platforms as quickly as you can. Otherwise, the enemy will catch you. So I'm trying to get the called plan kill. Just so I can show that. You have to climb that really fast. Really efficiently. And in the checkpoint, sometimes the enemy comes from the platform, like the ledge. So it takes longer to get here. It's not quite the same. Anyway, I'm just gonna slide down and get past here. I want to get to the tricks. The enemy kill isn't too important. But yeah, this is a lot faster than going to the top platform or luring the enemy super far. You can actually kill this enemy pretty quickly, pretty efficiently, without a huge detour. And that is, of course, important if you're gonna do a speedrun. There are a few other ways you can defeat the enemy, but this is the standard. If you don't feel comfortable with the plant kill, you melt the plate and you slide under the enemy, prepare the Omega Blast, and that's that. So regarding the matter of how do I mesh? Meshing can be done in many ways. There are many different grips you can do for mashing. One is to use both of your thumbs on the Y button. There are tutorial videos for that. Since I am not wearing a cam today, I'm not really gonna go over this in depth. The way I mash is I put my thumb across the left and right D-pad, and I just push my thumb left and right. It's literally all on the wrist. And as I do that with my thumb on left and right D-pad, I sometimes press R with my index finger. Yes, the D-pad. This is how it works. You go into controllers and sensors, change button mapping, and you can come here. I do this mapping. I assign the Y button to the left and right D-pad, and I also mirror the right stick to the left stick. That's how I play this game. The left stick rebind allows you to do that cloak pseudo nicely, and another pseudo that we'll see later. And yeah, being able to mash on D-pad is just a lot more convenient for me because I can make a grip where I have the left hand on the control stick and L. So this is left hand only right now, and then I put the right hand on the D-pad. So I can aim wherever I please while mashing. That's a very convenient thing, but I'm not sure I can recommend the way I mash because I think it is too exhausting and too stressful for the wrist. You might develop wrist problems if you do this mashing technique, so I do not recommend exactly. It's fine to do it in short bursts, but it's definitely bad for like a Ravenbeak fight. Nowadays, people do the so-called raking method. Or, well, B-Dog introduced that. I know Delusional Prince does that. It's a mashing technique that is a lot faster and also easier on the hands. But I don't do it because if I had to do the rebind that it requires, I wouldn't be able to do half of the unrestricted tricks. So I'll just go with this. Now, you don't have to mash, of course. You are not required to mash at any point of the game. It's only good for the speedrun in good times, but you can save yourself from mashing, of course, if you don't want to. So that, oh wait, that concludes Artaria. No, I just did the deboost and I didn't explain that. I completely flew over the deboost. Jeez. Jeez. I made a list of tricks that I wanted to cover and I completely forgot about this deboost. God dang, we've been here for almost 2 hours and I've only done Artaria 1. This is gonna take all night. I might have to split this stream in two. Maybe I won't be able to cover everything today. Damn. Alright, so back to explaining tricks. So we have done Artaria 1. Right now, all we have to do is catch that elevator to Ceries, right? Let's review what we've done. We've done the tutorial skip, we've done early Corpus, we've done water slope skip, we've done water platform skip here, and then we did MAGA skip on this section. The last trick we can do in Artaria is not a glitch. This is something you can do in glitchless categories all the same. It's called the Artaria Elevator Deboost. How far will this guide go into the game? Through Ceries today, then escape tomorrow? I don't know. I didn't consider this would take so long, but like, I want to make sure that the explanations I make for each trick are good enough that someone watching the video will have no trouble replicating the trick on their own. And that's with quote-unquote no trouble because, of course, if you haven't done the tricks before, it's probably going to take you a significant amount of time, half an hour, hours to get consistent if you're not like used to the movement, to the jumps, everything, right? I will do things quickly because I have hours of practice on every trick. I'm probably going to make it look too easy, right? But if you're going to try these tricks, they're going to take you a while to master and to even get a first try. So I hope that my explanations will be good enough that you'll be able to like pick up the video, hear the explanation a few times, try it out for a while, and get it first try without any further explanation, hopefully. So to make that kind of explanation and keep it in the video, I'm probably gonna have to spend some time on each trick, which is gonna take a while. I might be able to get to like speed booster and then leave like the pure unrestricted BS for the next run. I don't know, because it took me this long to explain the simple stuff. When we get to clipping and bomb skew, that's gonna take an entire day at this rate. But I do have full tutorials for the wall clip stuff already, so I'm probably not gonna get too in-depth on those tricks. So that will help. Deboosts are way easier to explain with a video, true, but I'm gonna at least try to explain the steps. This one is pretty hard to explain live because you have to just run through quickly. Like there are no pauses, there's no waiting. You have to just do the whole thing in one go. So yeah, maybe I'm just not gonna explain this one. Yeah, if I just like explain it now, it'll be too abstract. So yeah, we're gonna kill the first enemy with 2 missiles, full wall jump, boost. I don't know. Yeah, it's too hard to explain. Honestly, you're right, Sonic. This one's too hard to explain live. Switch replay. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Okay, that's. I like your thinking, Sonic. Thank you for that. You have saved this stream. You have saved us. All right, so let's do that. You slide through the door. First thing you're gonna do is fire 2 missiles to kill this enemy. Bam bam. You get to here, you do a full jump up to the peak, and then wall jump, and then hit this guy. You're gonna get deboosted onto the ledge, so you have to hold right to grab the ledge after you get deboosted. Immediately quick hop, right down the slope, land, go to the right immediately, jump when you get close to Pinky, do an air melee when you're almost near the bat, or this enemy, whatever. It's gonna push it up. The way the bat goes depends slightly on your timing and your jump. Sometimes the bat goes a little lower, sometimes it goes a bit higher. Higher would have been preferable. Then you kill the last one with a missile right there. And now, there is a bit of a delay you can do here. Some people do a dash melee against the wall to time. I just wait. And then you have to jump, wall jump. Well, I delay my wall jump because I want to make sure the enemy is attacking. I jump, get deboosted onto the slope or onto the platform, and that's it. But you can actually get different outcomes depending on the timings of your jump. I'm gonna save the game right here so I don't have to go and checkpoint back at the EMMI zone. Sometimes you won't even hit the bat and it still works. Yeah, this is very precise, but there are still some variation to the trick. Sometimes you can get successes where you feel like maybe you shouldn't have had. But yeah, you can get some slightly different outcomes depending on how you quick climb here and where exactly you hit this guy. Now I went super high and I got deboosted pretty nicely. That's what you want to see. If you get the bat that high, then you're gonna get a pretty clean deboost. But it's important that you respect this wait time before you do the wall jump, because if you wall jump too soon, the enemy is not gonna like be attacking you, so you won't get that deboost. You just like bounce off the enemy and fall down. Alright, but I'm not gonna go too in depth on that explanation. I really think it's easier to like make a video with edits and show like parts of the trick slowly to explain that. The switch clip is good, but yeah. It's just that there's also some variation that I might not be able to show you here live without repeating this trick a lot of times, and I feel like there are more important tricks to explain. All right, so categories, here we go. First thing we're going to do is talk to Adam. Thanks to the called Adam skip trick we're going to do later. This is the last time we will talk to Adam in the run, in the route. So let's enjoy Adam's final words. Never mind. I don't want to listen. So we skip Adam and we just continue on our way. There is one trick coming up soon. Oh my god. Hey, what's up, Levi? Adam skip is so satisfying. It is. It can be an infuriating trick because it's really precise, but I hope that my explanation is going to make it a lot simpler for you all to do. All right, I'm going to save the game. I'm also going to get some water. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. What's up, amateurish? Going to have to get going. I'll definitely check out the individual tutorials as they come out, though. Of course, absolutely. I will eventually make, a set of separate videos for each trick. And I know this is gonna take a while. We've already been like 1 hour and a half on this, and we're not even halfway through the run. But that's just what it is like. All of these explanations are condensed into a 40-minute run if you watch my world record, but there's a lot going on. Melon Gaspacho, you're doing great work here, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really hope that you guys find these tutorials useful, and maybe we'll see more unrestricted runners in the future. So I saved here because the next trick is right in the next room. Let's go there. I'm not going to do the trick yet because I'll probably miss the opportunity, but this is how you normally go through this room. You come here, you wait for this magnet to come down, you look at this gate to open it, and then jump, and boom. All right, cool. Now, there's one optimization we can do to get up there earlier. We grab the magnet early, do that wall jump, and climb up here. This is called the early magnet. It was found by Superman. You write that with 5 instead of S, so 5 UPA, something like that. So this is called the early magnet. Now there is another way we can do this this room a little faster. This is a minor trick, so I probably won't spend too much time explaining it. It's another deboost. We're going to use those flying enemies to deboost ourselves to the top, which is going to be faster than even that early magnet. So there were 3, oh yeah, they're called plies. So there were 3 plies in that room. We're going to go to the left, wait for the thermal door to open. We're gonna quick climb the ledge, kill the ply at the bottom, jump and air melee the one on the left, and then we're gonna wall jump and get deboosted to the wall, do another wall jump and grab the ledge. Let's see what that looks like done quick. Oh, I missed the kill. I failed. I shouldn't have missed this. This should be like literally just straight to the left. Maybe that was a little bit of drifting that made it go down, but you should have no trouble nailing that missile anyway. All right, I'm gonna save that clip so I can explain things a bit more carefully, like the other deboost. So we come into the room, this door opens as we go in, so we have to wait for it to fully open. If you jump too soon, you're just gonna bonk on that collision there. Like, the collision is still there, while the gates are opening, it only disappears once it's fully open, right? So as soon as it fully opens, you jump, quick climb, you fire missile to kill the fly at the bottom, jump, you can do a full jump and melee to knock this guy up. Now jump, you want another full wall jump, or actually I didn't do a full wall jump, like just I think you want to jump a certain distance from the wall, like this white line. You see that white line? You want to jump on that white line roughly and immediately wall jump. And then you want to do a full wall jump, hold free aim so that you get a powerful deboost. If you're not holding free aim, you just get knocked to the ground, I think. But if you hold free aim, you get boosted. After you get boosted, you want to release free aim when you're close to the magnet and press left so that you grab the magnet. And you immediately want to jump away, do the wall jump, and up there you are. Actually, if you do this fast enough, you can go straight from the magnet to the platform. But I think I was too low, so I took the wall. So if you're even faster than I was in this clip, you can just grab the magnet and go straight to the ledge. But for safety, you can do that additional wall jump to make sure you get there. And that's called the super boost. This is like 2.5 seconds faster, or 3 seconds, I don't recall exactly. Something like that, faster than waiting for the magnet to come down and then go up. It's a few seconds faster. It's nice. And it's pretty easy to do this. So if you are looking to save time in calories, this is something you can learn. If you mess this up too badly, you will miss the magnet coming down. But you can still, like, it's still possible to give this a try and still catch the magnet on the way down to get the early magnet at least. So this is something that you can try until you get it, because it's not too hard to do. I feel like you should, if you are looking to save time in speedruns, you can learn this trick. If not, it's not very important. It's just a couple seconds. It's not a huge deal unless you're going for top times. Why is free aim so weird? Why is this game so weird? So many weird things in this game. Alright, we're gonna move on. I hope I have enough HP for the next section. I'm gonna do a parry here to make sure I do. Oh, I missed the parry. Anyway, I should have. We're gonna do the so-called hell run. There's not much to explain, but I will explain anyway. I'm gonna do it, then I'll explain with the clip. Now, actually, I'm gonna have to reset because I've already missed it. I don't have enough HP to complete it now. On the bright side, you're gonna watch me do the thing in one go. You're gonna watch me do super boost again. Oh yeah, one detail that I failed to mention earlier. You see that thermal door at the top? You see, just above the magnet, you have another one of those thermal doors. I opened it right here. You see? I was aiming upward when I jumped to air melee, and now the trapdoor is on the screen, so now it's gonna open because I aimed up. And now as I jump here, the door's already open. You basically don't see it open because it opens off screen, but because you put the door on screen, it starts opening right here. And as I do this jump, it's already open. You need to make sure you open this early on, because if it starts opening now, you will just bonk it here, right? And that's why you need to start aiming soon. Same for this door. These doors won't open until you aim at them and put them on screen, so you'll have to manage that. All this is scheduled to do the hell run. Yeah, you have to be really fast. No mistakes, otherwise, yeah, you're gonna die. But I'm gonna try to do it and show you on the clip what it is, like the important stuff that go into the hell run. So first thing I do here is set up a slight angle. Like very slight, 10 degrees, something like that. God damn it, snapback and drifting has put me in a neutral angle. This is why I'm having so much trouble playing this game lately. because the controller just doesn't allow me to do this correctly. I'm trying to hold the angle, but it just keeps changing. There's nothing I can do about it. Alright, if you see me doing this in a run, you see how much the aim is wavering? Like, I'm not moving the control stick, but it's just wavering so much. Such a problem. So anyway, you want to aim around here. If you see me doing this in run, I'm not going to stop here to free aim. I'm just going to adjust as I go. So you want to destroy that blob. Dash melee, come down here, quickly destroy this thing and go out. So if you make it out here with 10 HP, you would have been able to do this with just one E-Tank. Remember earlier we picked up this E-Tank and Artaria, and I said if I were doing the series run, I would not pick up this E-Tank. That's because I can do hell run like this. Let's watch that clip. So you want to set up your angle in advance so that when you go into the room, you're already aiming at the blob, right? I even adjust to like neutral angle. I just aim manually here to hit the blob. Yeah. I melee on the ledge. And this isn't the only way you can do hell run, but it's the fastest I know of. And yeah, you just have to be really fast so you can make it through with your life. I'm gonna redo this section just to show you the other way you can do the hell run. The only thing that changes is that melee off the ledge, which is a bit hard to time. There is an easier way to do the hell run, which is you slide down and you dash melee through the ply, and you get some health back. So let's do that again. By the way, you can drop from the magnet as soon as it covers the third yellow stripe. Let's actually show that. Just a very minor thing. Once it lines up with the third line, we can hop down and grab the ledge. So let's aim again. Roughly 10 degrees, 15, something like that. So you slide down and dash melee through that, and you get some HP back. Notice how I ended with 25 HP as opposed to 10. You basically get to take one more damage tick if you recover HP. So to do that consistently, you need to make sure you have your full missile count before you go in the room, which you should. You don't have any reason to be using missiles in this area at all, except for the deboost, but you have plenty of enemies in this room to kill before you make it up here. So yeah. Alright, next up is the next trick, which is the Ceries Seam Pseudo. This is a trick that's eluded many a glitch hunter over the years, but recently, well, several months ago now, around April, we figured out how to get this thing with the Seam Pseudo. So same tech we used earlier on the early cloak pseudo. We can use that same tech here to destroy this blob. Let's do that. So the way the setup works is you can do this from checkpoint or not. So it doesn't matter if you do it from checkpoint or not. If you do it from checkpoint, you enter in our spawn here. So the setup doesn't matter where you spawn. So you jump into the wall like that. You don't hold free aim like the other one. You just jump into the wall and land here. And you want to slide forward immediately. Turn around, 1 step, 2 steps, and that's it. You're positioned. I need to wait for the enemy to get out of here though. Oh no! Alright, Emmy's gonna be on my butt, so I'm gonna just show that again. So depending on where the Emmy spawns, sometimes it's gonna leave us alone for longer, sometimes no. So jump here, slide immediately, turn around, 1, 2, and you're set up. So you're gonna do the same stuff we did earlier for the early cloak pseudo. You want to pause near the ceiling, but not on the ceiling, just close to the ceiling. Like this, I think. So the blob is around here. So we want to aim around like 67 degrees roughly. It's kind of precise. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, especially due to snapback drifting. But it's something like 67 degrees. I'm going to go with that. Missile, free aim, shoot, unpause. I didn't get it. God damn this Emmy. I want to explain things. I need this Emmy to just get off, dude. Oh, because I wanted to explain what to do next, right? So let's do this again. Turn around, 2 steps, that's it. All right. Let's do it again. 67 degrees. Like that. Fire, and that's it. So let's do a clip of that real quick so I can show you how you can adjust your shots. So what happened here at the end, you see where the explosion is going? You can clearly tell that the missile actually clipped the seam, but it wasn't going in the correct direction. I think I was actually aiming too low. I was aiming too low, so it basically hit the corner, but it is going through the hard collision that's on the right. Just spam TBH? Yeah, but I do want to explain this step by step before I show you like what it's going to look like to do actual attempts in a run. So this means that I have to aim at a higher angle than I did. Like the shot is clipping, but it's still hitting that corner, so you want to aim a little higher, right? Let's try that. All right, so jump, do everything. Let's try to aim a little higher this time. So that just hit the ceiling. That means I'm aiming too high. Let's not do that. Let's try again. That is, and it's to be higher. It's hitting the corner again, but it's a little higher, so I still need to adjust on a higher angle. Let's try that again. Not high. Okay, wait a sec. I need to turn my lights on. Okay, I got lights on. I need to see like the controller to know where I'm aiming. That was not, I was not in the correct spot against the ceiling. So I did make one visual cue for this. So I can center with the left stick on Samus. If the cursor is going through this corner, then I'm aiming at the correct angle. So you see this little corner here? If the cursor comes through on that corner, that's the correct angle. There we go, easy. That was a little too low. It's kind of precise. It is kind of precise. Oh, I already shot the missile, damn it. Boy, this Emmy. But the thing is, you're gonna be doing retries a lot faster than I'm doing here. Like you're only gonna look at the map if you're like doing this the first time to ensure that you're aiming in the correct direction. In actual run, you're gonna do repeats a lot faster. The enemy probably won't bother you. Nice one. Always make sure the last input you release is free aim so that you don't have to repeat the positioning setup. That was a little... I think that was not the correct angle. Actually might have been a bit high, or I wasn't correctly against the ceiling. Alright, and that's done, and now we can climb up here. So that is the Ceries Seam Suit. I'm going to try to do it one last time unbuffered so you can see what it looks like done fast in a run. Of course, you can do it buffered. I'm going to try to do it faster. Whoa. Alright, so that's what it looks like unbuffered and fast. I'm going to do it one more time, buffered and fast, so that you don't think that doing this with pause buffers is slow. No, you can do pause buffers fast. Let's see that. Like, I'm not used to doing it, but I know you can, right? Damn it. I'm not showcasing it well because I'm not used to doing... I usually do this unbuffered. So doing this buffered is kind of new to me. That's why I'm not able to do this very fast. But it's possible, okay? Bear with me. Like, as long as you get a good... Like, you're probably going to want to look at your control stick and see, like, what is the correct direction. And then just use the control stick itself as the visual cue instead of the map. There it is. That was a little faster the last two shots. So yeah, we have cleared the Ceries blob with Seam Pseudo. And the next trick we're going to see is called Atom Skip. I've been talking about that trick, which is a pretty big one. I recommend, if you happen to do this trick fast... oh yeah, wait, I actually have one more thing to explain regarding this pseudo. If you do it unbuffered, like, this is not... None of these steps are frame perfect. Like, you just do the setup. Setup's pretty easy to do. Turn around, 2 steps. So this isn't frame perfect, but you have to hold free aim in midair. If you do this unbuffered, you have a few frames to shoot. So Samus takes a few frames to push the cannon to the back. You wanna make sure your shot coincides with, like, the last frame or 2 of this animation. And yeah, it doesn't have to be frame perfect. It can be frame perfect with the pause buffer, but it doesn't have to be. You actually have a few frames of leniency on that jump and the free aim timing. The jump, because you can fire your shot like within 2 or 3 frames as you go up to the ceiling. That's why I say that you have to pause like just before you hit the ceiling, but there's some leniency to that. And there's also leniency on the timing in which you fire the shot, like through the free aim animation. So like a couple more frames. So it's not frame perfect, that's why you can do that unbuffered. It's actually not too hard to do unbuffered, but this one compared to Cloak Pseudo is harder because you need a higher angle and it's more precise. The early Cloak Pseudo is a lot more lenient in terms of the angle that you can get through. Anyway, we have come to Atom Skip. This trick is actually huge for most categories. Not as big for this category because you still have to go through this section here. Actually, yeah. So in other categories like glitchless or NMG, you would come from here, hop down, go into this room, do Atom Skip, and clear this monumental pillar. And the alternative to this is to go down this section and do a very lengthy Ceries roundabout section. If you do this first try, you're saving 1 minute right here. This is a whole minute of walking around Ceries that you're saving by doing this trick here. Oh, I almost got it. Hold on. Nope. Oh no. Alright, that should work. Alright, this is Atom Skip. Only took me like 5 tries to get it. It's okay. I'm not doing a run, but I wouldn't be happy with that if I were doing a run. But depending on the times you guys are running for, 5 tries might actually be plenty good, right? And it still is going to save you massive amounts of time. For this category, it is going to save time because you still have... So this is the area where you have an atom room, and because we skip that atom room, any other atom rooms that we go through for the rest of the run are not going to trigger and force us to talk to Adam. Normally, like, the room would close down and you're forced to talk to Adam to unlock the doors. But that's not going to happen anymore because we are not going to go to that Adam room. So it is going to save 1 minute in this section plus like 15 seconds for each Adam room that we would have had to talk to Adam, right? In some categories, this is something like 2.5 minutes. In others, like 3-4 minutes of time save. This is not a glitch. This is just like game physics. Cleverly done game physics, and you can do this in glitchless. This is probably the most important trick to learn if you're starting out the speedrun because it saves so much time. This saves minutes for top runners with like well optimized times, and this is probably gonna save like 10 minutes if you're, or like, I know, tens of minutes if you're starting the run and are not very optimized. Of course, the trick is not necessarily easy. It is precise. I'm going to explain it. You're going to be able to do it. And this is very worth learning. Like, over any other trick, just because of the time save. If you're starting, like, if you're just now starting to learn the Metroid Dread speed game, you want to start by learning at least the tutorial and skip, so you don't have to do this tutorial. You can learn this with Seam Pseudo. It's very simple now. If you want, one day you can learn the slide jump method because it is faster to retry. But Seam Pseudo is actually pretty fast if you master it. So I don't think anyone has really mastered Seam Pseudo at this point. It is hard to compare the two tricks right now. I know the top runners are so used to doing slide jump that we don't even consider doing Seam Pseudo here. But if new runners learn this trick and try to take it to new heights, I don't think these heights are currently known even. So yeah. These tricks are 2 tricks I would recommend you learn immediately. You can try to learn water slope skip, but it is a bit difficult to nail. I wouldn't stress this too much if you're just starting to learn the speed game. This is a nice time save, but it's only 15 seconds. It's not like 1 minute here, 1 minute there, right? So, yeah. Well, actually, I think early Corpus doesn't save that much. You need to have a fast Corpus fight, and it can be annoying to do Corpus with just missiles. But like, if you wanna get good times eventually, you're gonna need to learn to do early Corpus and fight Corpus with that sort of disadvantage. Which, ideally, a fast Corpus fight doesn't even use charge beam, but the fact you don't have charge beam means you're gonna have to make those missiles really count. And if you do early Corpus, you're gonna have to learn MAGA skip, which is right here. And water platform skip is also pretty easy to learn. It's only 6 seconds, but it's very easy to learn, and it sets you up to learn MAGA skip. If you learn one, you learn both, really. So just learn both. But when it comes to this trick, you literally don't want to skip on that. 1 minute just in this area plus 15 seconds spread out throughout any other atom room that you'd have to go through. Anyway, let's do this trick again, and I'm going to explain every step with the switch clip because I think that's going to be a nice way to follow the trick. I am not really able to like pause what I'm doing. You have to do this trick in one go. So we're going to do the switch clip tech once again. So what do you have to do for this trick? Let's see. So first thing is you lean on the wall, you hold left, and then you jump, and you grab so because you're holding left, you're automatically going to grab the magnet, and you specifically want to grab the bottom of the magnet here. Why is this important? The way this trick was labbed, so Sonic Orochi, as I said, found this trick. He was the first person to make it through to the top. But then there was Zaz, who figured out a consistent setup for this trick. The reason why you can even make it to the top is like sheer luck. There just happens to be a few positions that allow you to do that. It's just very precise. You have to follow this trick to a T or you will not get it. If I say you have to grab the bottom of the magnet, you have to grab the bottom of the magnet. There's no room for error here. Now, every step from here on is going to be a full jump into a buffered wall jump. I've already explained before what each of those are. A full jump is you hold down B until you reach the peak to get the maximum height off that jump. And a buffered wall jump is when you press B just before you hit the wall as you come into contact with the wall. So, full jump, buffered wall jump, full jump, buffered wall jump. And now, the next step is going to be the most involved part of this trick. You want to let Samus go to the peak of the jump right here. It's a bit harder to see because you're against the slope. Actually, it doesn't have to be exactly the peak. I think you have a frame or two to make it work after the peak, but ideally, that's what you want to consider. And it also takes a couple frames for Samus to like start meleeing, so my input might be earlier than you'd think. The devs were astonished with this trick. The devs, number one trick the devs don't want you to know. So, you want to be at the peak of the jump before you press X to melee. And what do you want to do here? So, let me go again. So, you grab the bottom of the magnet, full jump, buffered wall jump, full jump, buffered wall jump. You go up to the peak and you're holding right. At this point, after this second wall jump, you need to hold right. You don't actually need to hold any direction whatsoever from this point onward. You need to hold left to grab the magnet, but from here, you can literally let go of your control stick and do just B. Hold B, press B, hold B, press B. You don't need to hold any direction with the control stick up to this point. From here on, you need to hold right to go against the slope. You hold right, you wait until Samus is at the peak of the jump, you press X, you keep holding right, and as you're in the melee, you want to press B to buffer a respin. I didn't get the wall jump, but I got the respin. So, you buffer to get the respin, and then you press B again. So you double press B to get the respin and then the wall jump. There is kind of a specific timing to do those things. It's very difficult to explain. You don't want to press, you don't want to double press B too fast nor too soon after the melee. You want to do it roughly as you're like halfway down the slope. It's hard to explain. This is the hardest part of the trick. You're gonna have to practice to get a feel for that. But like, go to the peak, melee, continue to hold right, press B to respin, press B again to wall jump. You have to do that quick, but not too quick. If you do it too quick, you're gonna get the respin, but you're not gonna get the wall jump. If you do it too slow, you're gonna get the respin and wall jump, but you're gonna be lower than this. Like, this is what you want to see. This is like the earliest wall jump you can get, and that's exactly what you want for Atom Skip. If you respin and wall jump late, you get a low wall jump, and you're just not gonna connect with the magnet. So, you can let go of right. You're gonna do another full jump into another buffered wall jump. And now you want to hold right again so that you grab the magnet. If you do this step without holding right, you will like curl up against the magnet and fall down but not grab it. So holding right is very important here. So let's do this trick a couple of times because this is what you're going to be doing. And like see if I can get some more so I can showcase how this is done. First try. Full jump, full jump, full jump, peak, melee, buffered, respin, and that's it. I've already practiced this trick a bunch. Now I did the respin too early and I didn't get the wall jump. I think that works. Perfect. So this is basically what you're gonna have to do if you want to learn this trick. So respin went too soon again. I think the melee was too early. That was a late wall jump, I guess. Melee went too early again. I think the melee went late this time. That was good. That works. Perfect. It's not like it matters too much why exactly you failed. As long as you know what you have to do, you just aim for that.
But it is important to know that if you're consistently milling early, that you notice and have to adjust your melee to be a little later. If you're consistently milling late, then you want to do it earlier. But the hardest part of this trick, I think, is the third wall jump, right? Like the one that you get riding down the slope. One thing to note is that if you get the correct melee, you're like riding down the slope. You're basically aligned with the slope while going down. It feels like just riding down fast. If you do it too early, you basically lose your momentum. If you do it too late, I think you get too much momentum and go down too fast. Yeah, like that. That was just going too fast. That was an early melee. I basically lost my momentum. I just stalled against the slope. If I do it correctly, you kind of ride along the slope. And you get the highest wall jump right like that. So yeah, this is probably the most important trick to learn for the speedrun. If you're just getting started, I highly recommend that you learn to do this. Follow the steps that I just showed, and you'll get it in no time. Consistency comes later, but if you understand how the setup works, your consistency is also going to improve. I'm going to take a short break, and we're going to explain the EMMI warp. EMMI warp, so up to this point, even considering all the tricks we've done, the tricks we've done so far have been relatively normal, but EMMI warp is where unrestricted really kicks in for the first time to make its name, you know, to make it seem that this is unrestricted. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to be right back. All right, we're back. This room is burned into my brain forever. This room with Adam skip, you mean? Yeah. You can also, you can also do this on this side. If you master the specifics of the trick on this side, as long as you know the timings and everything, you can replicate for this side. I don't recommend ever doing that. You only ever have to do Adam skip from this side, but it's a little flex. If you learn to do it on one side, then you can do it this side too. No further explanation. Anyway, next thing I'm going to show you guys is the EMMI warp. This is, as I said, where unrestricted really comes to life in the route. Let's go through here. I'm going to show you the simpler way to do this. There are many ways in which you can get past that EMMI. I suppose I'm not going to get into too much detail on that. You can get the bad spawn. You can get the good spawn. Yeah. GR. Metroid fan from day one, love Dread. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. I think we all here love Dread. I love Dread, or I wouldn't have been speedrunning this game for almost 3 years. But yeah, Metroid's a great series. I'm looking forward to Prime 4 as well. I'm actually kind of looking forward to a Dread too. Dread was so fun, I wouldn't mind another 2D Metroid. Anyway, I'm gonna kill this guy so I can do my explanations in peace. Bye. Thank you. Okay, so EMMI warp, right? And normally, you do Cateries, you go to Darn, you get Wide Beam, you come back, you do Morph Ball, and well, you open the door here that has a white block, and you do this fight, you kill the enemy, and you get Morph Ball. Cool. Unrestricted can get Morph Ball early before Wide Beam by warping into this room. And the way in which we warp is by using two glitches together, let's call it that. So one of them is this. Just plain and simple. You want to like jump against the door and free aim away. Like that. Okay, I got lagged and I got pushed outside. Sometimes that happens. No big deal, just do it again. I'm gonna do it from outside so you can see it in action. I did it correctly. This triggered the EMMI door, but I didn't enter the EMMI zone. That's what you want to see. You want to do this from inside. You want to get the door closing like that, but you still get some audio cues. You can hear that EMMI door sound. So I did it correctly. That's it. All right. What does that do? So I have touched the EMMI door, and I should have left the EMMI zone. I'm not really entirely sure what happens, but because I've touched the EMMI zone, the game expects me to transition and do something with the EMMI because of that transition, because this is an EMMI door. I was supposed to the game was supposed to despawn the EMMI, so I think the game is expecting something to happen like a transition. So we're gonna do a transition, but not where the game expects. Damn it, the EMMI was on the way. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Doesn't matter. If I don't get the parry, I'm just gonna do it again. Lord EMMI just always getting in the way. It's just how this game works. Alright. I think this time the EMMI is in a more favorable spawn. So, we've done that free aim setup. What is gonna happen when I go through this transition? As I said, the game's now expecting a transition to happen, but we're not actually going to leave the EMMI zone. We're just going to transition here. And what's going to happen is the game's going to spawn the EMMI. See? The EMMI was nowhere to be seen. As soon as I do the transition, EMMI's right here. So, what happened there is that there are 3 spawns associated with this door. If you come through this door, there are 3 possible spawns where the EMMI can be. One of them is here on top of this missile tank. The other is here. We just saw the EMMI here, down here. And number 3 is here, inside the green EMMI arena. This is where we have the fight against the green EMMI and acquire Morph Ball. This is one of the spawns. So, if you do that free aim setup against the door and then walk through the first transition that you have available in the room without leaving the EMMI zone, it's going to reroll one of these 3 spawns associated with the door. If you were to do that on this door has a different set of spawns associated with it. I think it has 2 spawns, something like down here and up here. I'm not sure. Some doors have 2 spawns, some doors have 3 spawns, right? It's different. GR, I've recently started to learn tips for speedruns. My best time is an incredible 3 hour and 7 minute. But I'm trying. Great life tips. I appreciate it. 3 hours is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a great time. If you're just looking to unlock the in-game unlockables, I think that's more than enough, right? You can definitely bring it down a lot lower if you want to improve your times, but 3 hours is a great time. It's definitely a great time. So, now that you understand what's happening to the EMMI, the next thing we're going to do is the warp. Well, not the warp yet, but actually let's try something else. The next thing is what happens if you trigger an EMMI parry in the same frame that you transition into another room. Let's see what happens. What might the EMMI do? I'm going to explain this setup in a bit, but first I'm just going to show you for the sake of example. So you see what's happening? I can pause the game. The camera is weird, right? Normally you're not supposed to be able to pause the game, right? So, what if I told you we can guarantee that we can get the parry, right? If you press X on this menu, nothing happens. So, what you're going to do is press X, B, and minus. And you guarantee that you get the parry. So, what happened here, when we got the parry, the same frame we did the room transition, the game kind of wants to get us in the parry cutscene, but the camera kind of gets free because we do the transition. The camera resets on the transition. and it unlocks some of our inputs, because normally you're not able to pause while you're doing the EMMI parry, but we could because the transition. So now the question is, what if we combine this free aim tech that causes the EMMI to respawn when we transition and then get the parry on that frame, right? I think you guys have probably figured out by now. One of those 3 spawns is inside the EMMI arena. So we have to do this transition and parry same frame thing and hope that the game gives us this spawn, because we're gonna warp along with the EMMI onto one of those 3 spawns. So let's do the whole thing in one go. And then I'll explain the setup. I'm probably gonna have to do this several times because the setup changes depending on where the EMMI goes. And you have to manipulate the EMMI depending on the spawn you get. Okay, so remember that we can pause the game. Minus XB. You keep repeating these inputs, minus XB, until you get the parry. That's how you guarantee that you get this. Normally, actually, you don't want to do this on the wrong spawns. I'll explain why. So we didn't get the correct warp. That's okay, we do it again. This is one of the biggest problems of running unrestricted at the moment, is that there is no consistent way to get the desired warp point that we get. You get one of those 3, so it basically is RNG. If you watch me do the run in my world record, I got through here, got the warp into the morph arena first try. That's because I got lucky. Do you have any idea how many times I had to retry that to get it first try? If you want to aim for top times in this category, you have to be kind of insane to sit through these many attempts just for a chance at a first try, because it is random. We don't have control over that. Maybe one day someone will look into the game code and figure out how this RNG works and maybe come up with a consistent way to do that. But right now, it's pure luck, pure RNG. You just have to hope you get the first try for the best time save. Even if you don't get it first try, I think you have like, I don't know, 5 attempts or so, or maybe more, to even out with not doing the EMMI warp. Because the EMMI warp saves time not just in getting the morph ball, but in streamlining the rest of the route, and we'll get into that later. But anyway, let me explain how the setup works. I should have saved the game earlier, but anyway, I think I'm gonna save it with a switch clip and then like show you how it's done. Wait, I don't remember how this was done. Oh yeah, I remember it. I remember now. Alright, I'm gonna hope the enemy just goes forward, but it doesn't. Then if I had Bomb skill, I could just delete the spawn and showcase everything stress-free, but alright, let's just hope the enemy cooperates a little bit. Alright, enemy's going away, this is what I want to see. I think as long as I don't open the door, we'll be fine here. So, the way the setup works, there is a setup to guarantee that you get the transition same frame as the parry. You want to like lean against the door, free aim to get pushed back, open, crouch, and aim. I'm gonna step away from the door because I don't actually want to open it, because that makes the enemy come back here. If I don't open the door, I think the enemy just stays away forever. So you push away from the door with free aim, open the door. I'm not actually gonna open so I can show the setup in full. Crouch, free aim. What happens here? I'm gonna turn around so you can see it. There's this red line. If you aim at an important thing, oh, I guess the enemy does come back eventually. God dang it. Enemy spawn, manipulate your horizon. Yeah. Whoever figures out how to manipulate the enemy spawn is gonna be like a very sexy person. because if you could remove this RNG from the run, Unrestricted would be a lot better. And you have 2 points of RNG. One is this EMMI warp, and 2 is Ravenbeak X, which we probably won't even get into today. I don't think I have time for all that. This is gonna. We're already been 2.5 hours, and we're not even half of the run. But anyway, I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do the setup, and then illustrate what happened, like explain what happens on the clip. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Oh, I caught the EMMI too early. Damn. Oh my god. So there are ways to manipulate the EMMI, but I haven't done the EMMI warps in a while, so I'm a little rusty on this stuff. Ooh. So you want to cross this circle and go back. When you cross that circle, I think the EMMI just comes back down and then always goes to the door. Okay, that's what I want to see. Right, so there are 2 things to note about the setup. Is you saw the EMMI has that blue cone. That's when the EMMI is in its like non-alert mode. If the cone was yellow, the EMMI would be in alert mode, and there is a difference in the way the EMMI plays its animations if it detects you. So there is a different setup for non-alert EMMI and alert EMMI. I'm going to start with the setup for non-alert, which is the ideal spawn. And there is a way to manipulate the EMMI to get that spawn on the first entrance, but not on the transition. So we lean on the door, free aim to push back, open, crouch, aim. Listen to the laser. It's going to start beeping at some point. Beeping. Dash immediately to the left, turn around, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, free aim, and now I'm going to walk as soon as the cone hits me, and that's it. And I got the right spawn. Perfect. But I didn't take the parry because I want to showcase some more setups, so we can't just go through yet. But that was the correct spawn. That's what you want to see if you do this in a run. So, some more detail on the setup. Let's see. Oh, I just realized, oh god, I just realized I was muted for like a whole minute there. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to redo the explanation. Damn it! I'm sorry, Chad. You were watching this clip for a whole minute with no explanation. I am sorry about that. All right, let's do the explanation from the beginning. So, first thing you do is you lean against the door, right? Press free aim to push back. You get this little distance. This is what you want to see. Now, you want to open the door and crouch. You can crouch before you open the door. It's not too important as long as you've already pushed yourself away from the door, because the shooting can also change your position, but as a matter, shoot the door, crouch, and free aim. I want to say that this setup was found by myself and Sonic. Sonic figured out this tech with the laser. Very nice. So now we wait to hear the laser beep. It beeped 3 times. When does the laser beep? Laser beeps when you're aiming at something important. There are some special blocks and I think power-ups like ability upgrades, and they make the laser beep. In enemies, in this case, it's the enemy that's doing that. I heard the beep 3 times. That's a good time to dash melee. So you just release your free aim and dash melee to the left. You let the animation complete, and when Samus is fully standing, no more melee animation, you turn around. You let the turnaround complete, and you take 4 steps to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. One at a time to make sure you're in the correct position. Now, the next thing you want to do is, I hold free aim. You don't have to hold free aim, but I do because it makes it easier for me. The next thing you have to do is, you see the cone is blue, the enemy is in non-alert mode. The enemy is just chilling. When the cone comes into contact with Samus, it turns red. Immediately when it turns red, you want to run to the enemy. You actually have several frames of leniency for this, so you can do this trick unbuffered, like that. But you could also pause if you wanted to, if you don't feel comfortable in your ability to time that. But this is doable unbuffered. There is plenty of time. You can do it. The reason why I hold free aim is I hold free aim to... You have to hold free aim or just do anything to make Samus not go back to idle position. Oh yeah, thanks for that. You have to hold free aim. If you're not holding free aim, Samus actually has this like acceleration time from 0 speed to max speed. Whereas if you're holding free aim, Samus starts moving at maximum speed immediately. So yeah, you have to hold free aim, actually. Thanks for that, Sonic. I was going to miss that detail. You have to hold free aim to make Samus move at max speed immediately, because that's important for the setup. If you accelerate, you're not going to have that leniency anymore. This is going to be impossible if you don't do this. Another thing, you can use the free aim. Like, I actually hold it down because I'm holding the control stick to the right. So instead of releasing free aim and going to the right, I'm already holding right. What I do is I release free aim when the cone turns red because I'm already pushing to the right. You can do it differently, but I find this to be just the easiest way to do it. So let's go over the setup again. So you lean on the door, free aim to push back, open the door, crouch, aim, free aim at the enemy. Now, the laser is going to start beeping when it sees the enemy. When you hear it beeping, you do a dash melee to the left, let the animation complete, turn around, take 4 steps to the right, one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you sit there, hold free aim, push to the right, and when that cone touches Samus, you release free aim and you walk to the door, and you just get that magical transition. We got lucky, the enemy warped to the morph arena. That's what you want to see. That's what you want. And next we'll just have to do the parry. But I didn't take the parry because I still want to show the alert setup. So back to the game we go. The fact that this magic trick skips down is so crazy. His walkthrough is going to make me run unrestricted. Melon, I hope to see run unrestricted. I want to get more runners into unrestricted. This is like, it is pain to grind really low times, but if you're content to go for like a sub hour or sub 50, then you won't have to suffer through so much pain. I definitely want to see more people getting into unrestricted because I think it's a fun category despite the RNG BS. So there is one thing you can do here to ensure that you always get the enemy on this spawn. I'm going to show you what that does. As I said, we can control the warp, but I did the free aim setup, I did the transition out there, and now I'm going to go back in, and the enemy is right here. Guaranteed. Enemy is right here. If you do that little setup, you guarantee the spawn is right there. If you get this spawn, you want to alert the enemy here, phantom, and go back. This is how you manip this spawn to go to the door. You don't have to do anything else. You just sit here, the enemy always goes to the door if you do this. And then you follow up. When the door closes, you do the setup, crouch, free aim, let it beep. If you do this too fast, you might get some wrong beeps. Like the EMMI is gonna go here, slide down, slide here. So if you do the free aim too early, you might get beeps from when the EMMI is going out, but you want to react to the beeps of when the EMMI climbs up here and goes through the tunnel. So be aware of that. If you go too fast, you might get beeps for when the EMMI is leaving, and you don't want to do the dash melee then. You want to do the dash melee from when the EMMI is going back. So yeah, be aware of that. If you mess up your setup because the EMMI didn't come and all that, try to adjust like your timings, expectations, and all that. But anyway, if you do that free aim outside of the EMMI door, do the transition to Atom Room. Make sure not to go too deep into Atom or the room will lock down on you. If you're just at the door, it's fine. If you're just here, it's fine. If you take another step or two, the doors are gonna lock down, but if you're just here, it's fine. And this way, you guarantee that you always get this spawn coming into the room the first time. The warp is still gonna be random, but you can ensure that you always get this spawn because it's the easiest to maneuver. You just go down here, you walk through, you come here and alert, and then Phantom Cloak, go back. If you do this, the EMMI always goes through the door and you can do the setup. So just showcasing this one more time before we try to go for one of the other one of the other spawns and setup. All right. For the other setups, things are different. I want to try to show you the alert setup. Right, this time we get the bottom spawn. All right, I'm gonna try to do the alert setup. So EMMI is alerted now. I'm gonna do the same setup. Lean back, actually push back, open the door, crouch, free aim. 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm holding free. I was holding free aim until just a moment ago. I'm not holding free aim anymore. I'm still gonna get that acceleration. In alert mode, you only have like 1 or 2 frames to make through. It's a lot tighter. That's why if you're gonna start learning EMMI warp, you should probably do that setup I showed earlier to guarantee you get this spawn, because doing this with non-alert is a lot simpler. But anyway, the gist is the same. We only take, the setup here is the same, but we only take 3 steps instead of 4. And we're going to pause the game until the cone touches Samus. When the cone turns red, you get a different music. Now, the music has changed, and you can also see that the doors are now sealed. They weren't before. Now you get the EMMI chase music, and this is when you want to go to the right. So just go to right and unpause. And you still get it. And we got the right spawn. Let's try to get that parry. First thing you do is you press minus to get to this pause menu. Minus X, B, minus. You want to continue to do these inputs. Minus X, B, minus X, B. I do this by putting my left thumb on top of minus, and right thumb alternates between X and B. Actually messed up, yeah. I messed up because I unpaused and pressed X. Damn it. I was already on pause. I shouldn't have pressed minus. I should have started with X. Anyway, but that's the alert setup. So, let me show this on the door. I can always just reset the checkpoint. So you push away, crouch, open the door, or push away, open the door, crouch. It doesn't matter too much. Let it beep. Dash melee to the left. If EMMI is not alerted, you take 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. If the EMMI is alerted, you take only 3 steps. But the rest is the same. As soon as the cone touches you and turns red, that's when you want to go for both of the setups. You can do it unbuffered for the non-alert. You should not do it unbuffered for the alert EMMI. If you want to ensure that you get that non-alert, you can do the free aim setup outside the EMMI zone, do that transition through the Atom Room and come back in, and then you always get the easy manip spawn. So let's do this one more time. Or as many as it takes until I get the morph spawn again. Now that I'm not explaining the trick, like I've already done the explanation, I want to continue the run. Let's see how many tries it's gonna take for me to actually get the morph ball, because now we're gonna be playing RNG. So this is why I say wait for those 3 beeps. Shit, I messed up. I'm not supposed to fire anything. I accidentally tapped Y. That's why I said earlier, if you wait for those 3 beeps, you ensure that the EMMI is actually coming to you and you're not like starting the setup while the EMMI is going away, because that can make the AI go a little further than you want to. Then tries bet. Oh no. Please no, I hope you're wrong, Sonic. Alright, you don't have to go like all the way, you can actually just stop here under the tunnel more or less. And then kind of follow the EMMI. Just make sure you're not gonna like lose HP if your Eon gauge completely depletes. So set up, push away, crouch, aim. 3 beeps, turn around, 1, 2, 3, 4, and off we go. Oh, okay. Pause with minus. This is better if you do with the minus pause menu, because if you use the map, if you press X in the map, it brings you up to the global map. If you press X on this menu, nothing happens, so you can press X as much as you like. So the sequence is, first thing you do when you get the correct warp is you press minus to get into this menu, and then you start the sequence X, X, B, minus. X is you're going to try to buffer that melee. What this does is X, B to unpause, minus to repause, X. Because when you actually get the melee counter timing, you're not going to be able to pause anymore. So what's going to happen is you're going to be minus XB, minus XB. You're basically safeguarding your melee press. If you press X in the pause, it's okay, nothing happens. But if you press X outside the pause, you would be conditioning your melee. You'd basically be pressing X too soon and making it impossible to parry. So when it comes to the point where you press minus but you don't get the pause, that's because the game is now giving you the window to press X for the melee counter. And you didn't pause and you're going to press X immediately. That's why it works. You have to do this rather quickly. So we start with X, B minus, and then repeat the sequence. X until it works. There it is. And we got through, and that is EMMI War. So now we are able to do this DP slide pseudo. I'll explain this trick later. Actually, yeah, I'll explain that later because I don't want to have to do EMMI warp again. So missiles are the best way to deal with the CU. Normally you'd have wide beam, and charge missiles would have been the better way to do it. But we don't have wide beam, so just missiles like the one in Artaria. Basically, you're frame advancing by pressing X after pausing. Yeah, that's another way to look at it. You're safeguarding your melee press to not like let it go too early. And you're basically frame advancing so that you don't lose too much time. So you can actually fit that melee press within the time frame for the parry. Alright, now I kind of have to explain what the DT slide pseudo is. I think this is the only place in the run where we use DT. No, actually it isn't. We use it in one more place. We use it more in an MG. We don't get to use it much in unrestricted. Like, you don't actually have to do that DT slide pseudo. It's just faster. It's just faster than going around with the magnet climb, but it's not a big deal. It's very easy to do though. I'm gonna show it, if I can find a good wall to show it on. When enemy blinks, you can't pause, but you're then pressing X. Yeah, that's what happens. If you press X in the pause menu, nothing happens, you're good. But then when you can't get the pause, that's because you've started the counter, and then you press X and you get it. So you always get the parry. So despite this stuff being down to RNG, you can use the setups to make this part consistent, and you can use the pause thing to make the parry also consistent, because normally it would be really hard. So, DT slide pseudo. You want to... So because we did that trick earlier, I probably should have like tried to leave it open so I could explain, but it's okay. Where is a good place I can show it? Here. What is the DT slide pseudo? It's when you slide, turn around, and turn around again. You do a slide and a double turnaround. That's why it's called DT, double turnaround slide pseudo. You slide against the wall, double turnaround, and shoot. See how the shots are going through into the tunnel? Like, the shot starts inside the tunnel. This is not the best place to showcase. There isn't a good place in this room, I think, so I'm just gonna find somewhere else. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good place. You can clearly see the shots coming out on the other side. So how does this work? So you want to slide against the wall, and as you touch the wall, you turn around twice, and you fire, like, you want your shot to coincide with about the first frame that Samus turns after the second turnaround. It's not actually hard to do. There is leniency to it. It works for a number of frames. I've got my muscle memory so ingrained for this trick, I just do it without thinking, but if I had to think about it, like, wait, maybe I'll have to like clip it so I can show. Keep in mind that Switch clips are 30 frames per second. I might not be able to capture every single detail as I would like to, but I'll do my best. So you want to fire about this frame. It's hard to get the frame I want. Like 1 or 2 frames after this. Let's see if I can pick it up. Before this. Damn it. It's really hard to get that frame. It's around there. As I said, there are a few frames of leniency. It doesn't have to be frame perfect, but I think it helps to understand. It's like 1 frame or 2 after this. But it's really hard to pick the exact frame. Oh my god. Okay, this. It's basically when Samus is facing the cam, right? This is about the frame where you want to shoot. But as I said, this is doable for a number of frames. It's not frame perfect. And it's also pretty easy because you can retry this very quickly. If you're practicing this trick, you're gonna get this with like within a minute or 2, I'm sure. Like, okay, maybe more than that, but this trick is pretty easy to do. You have a very large range of angles that can clip through. If your angle can clip forward, it can just clip anywhere. All right, so that's the DT slide pseudo. We use it here to clear this blob, but you could have also gone around and done this. It's no big deal. It saves a few seconds, I'm sure. All right, so because we have Morph Ball now, we don't have to go straight to Dairon. We are instead going straight for Ceries Suit. I think we grab this missile tank. If you feel really good about your crate, maybe not, but we're not. So we're gonna do Ceries Suit and crate fight, but keep in mind we normally would have had wide beam for the crate fight, which makes it a lot smoother. We don't have wide beam now, so we're basically only fighting crate with charge beam and with bare charge beam and missiles. No, we're fighting crate with just missiles because we basically don't have a beam. That's where it's at. So there are no tricks for this time. Actually, there is one trick. I almost forgot. We're gonna do one trick at Crate, and I'm gonna have to explain it before we get to Crate because there aren't many good places to do this. When we get to Crate, we're gonna do something called the single wall jump. Single wall jump is not possible normally because the game forces you to move away from the wall when you wall jump, so you can't really gain height. But you can gain height with the morph ball by doing this. Well, actually, let's go to a better place to show this so you can see just how nice single wall jumping can be. I'm gonna save here so I can quickly get back to the checkpoint. But I'm gonna try to quickly explain how single wall jump works. Oh, this is so easy with morph ball. All that suffering in the early game with water slope skip could have been done so easily with morph ball. Feels bad. Okay, so this is like the best place to practice single wall jumps. You have a very tall room. You can get like, I don't know, 10 or more in a row. So how does this work? You want to press B. So you go to the wall, you neutral stick, and you B morph. You press B and morph. B to wall jump, immediately followed by morphing on a neutral stick. All right, we hit the top. Perfect. Let me make a clip so I can explain what's happening a bit more precisely. Okay, I need my Joy-Con to connect so I can use the unbound right stick. So, what is happening here? So, as I said, you have to press B to wall jump, immediately followed by morph, ZL, on a neutral stick. If you don't neutral stick, you're gonna be pushed away from the wall. But if you neutral stick, you're gonna lose your momentum and jump almost straight up. When you reach the peak of your jump, you want to unmorph, move to the left or to the wall. You could do this on a right-sided wall too. And once you're at the peak, you unmorph, move to the left, and then repeat. You want to B for wall jump, immediately followed by morph. Unmorph, left, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, right? You don't ever need to do these many single wall jumps in the context of a speed run. The maximum you need to do is like 4 or 5 to climb up at Crate. With single wall jumps, you can climb up to the Crate's magnet without having to wait for that specific attack pattern and without hitting the bell. You just start phase 2, bam, you're up at the magnet. We're gonna see that soon. But I think that should be enough for you to understand what's happening. If you morph too late, you already have that momentum going, so you are still going to be pushed from the wall. If you morph too soon, you won't get a wall jump. If you morph too soon, you basically morph before you press B, right? That's what happens. There's a weird timing that I'm not sure how to explain, which is when you don't morph immediately. I think it's like your morph gets buffered into the middle of your jump, so you morph like you're already away from the wall. If you do that, you don't get a proper wall jump, but you also don't lose much height, and you can continue to wall jump. But it can happen. There's not much to worry about it. The key thing here is to make sure that you leave your stick neutral. This is like a very mechanical thing. It might feel hard to do at first, but you have to keep practicing and just putting this into your muscle memory. It's a lot easier once you've already figured out the inputs, but I think the hardest part to me was figuring out the timing. It wasn't even like the neutral stick thing. It was just the timing for the B and morph ball. Like it's B immediately followed by morph ball. The sooner you can get that morph ball without eating the wall jump, the better. But you don't need to have a buffered wall jump. You can be leaning on the wall. Buffered wall jumps don't matter. I think if you do a buffered wall jump, you get extra height, but it's not all that important. So yeah, there's not much. I think there's not much I can say about troubleshooting this trick. Let's see. If I don't release to neutral, this is what happens. If you release neutral, then you just get this, like, you lose that momentum getting pushed away from the wall, and that's what allows this to happen. Because Morph Ball and Samus are different actors. When you transform into Morph Ball, I think the game kind of forgets that wall jump momentum if you're on neutral for some reason. And that's how it works. Anyway, we're going to see the single wall jump later when we get to Kraid. So I think I'm going to go up until the Morph Bomb, and then we'll probably stop there. I think I'll continue tomorrow to show the rest of the run, because it's already taken a lot of time. Morph a zap after the wall jump for better height gain. Yeah. There are a few frames in which this will work. If you delay too much, you get that, like, sort of buffer. It feels like a buffered morph that happens halfway into the jump and you're pushed away further from the wall. But what Sonic says is right. The sooner you get that morph after the wall jump, the closer you'll be to the wall and the more height you'll get. Anyway, now we're going to do Various Suit. Various Suit's a bit weird without Wide Beam. Wide Beam just makes all of these shots a lot easier. But because you have 3 beams, now you only have 1. This climb is a little sad with just 1 beam. But it is what you gotta tank if you're gonna play Unrestricted. Unrestricted gets a lot of nice things, but also gets a few not so nice things. This is one of them. This section of the game without Wide Beam is a little sad, but it's only for a little bit. We will get Wide Beam, but right now we definitely miss Wide Beam. So one thing I didn't notice, always have a charge beam ready for parts of this section. You want to have a charge beam ready to open this door in advance. You want to have another charge beam ready to open this door before you climb to Varia, so that you don't have to worry about that on the way down. All right, so one little trick you can do here, you can, so when you're walking past a one tile block like this, you're still considered on the ground even while you're hopping off of it. So you can actually do a dash melee at any point while you're hopping off this kind of block. It's a bit weird, but you basically can do a dash melee in midair and skip this platform. It's very nice. There are a few other places in NMG where you can do that sort of optimization. In Unrestricted, I think that might be the only one. So now we're just gonna climb down this section. That part's a little different from NMG. NMG has Wide Beam, just goes through a little faster. Louis Long, hello, welcome on in. How are we doing? We are about to get to Kraid. We've already explained a lot of the early game stuff. I'm sure I can trim down this stream to, like, I don't know, maybe an hour. Maybe 2 with the second half. So I'm probably not going to finish this today. I might continue tomorrow. I'm going to get to Morph Bombs. We don't have many tricks going for now. I think the next trick we have is the generator room for Morph Bombs, which is optional, but we'll do it anyway. And backdoor flash shift. And maybe we'll leave the Unrestricted Gauntlet for tomorrow. Oh, a little tip. If you break the top blocks, ideally the 3 top blocks, you can use the remaining block to dash melee over this platform. It's a nice little efficiency move. So I have little to no HP here. That's not nice. I did a good job avoiding most of the enemies. So now we're gonna do Kraid. There's nothing special about Kraid except for the single wall jump. But we've already explained the single wall jump, so just play the fight. Single wall jump, let's do it. Alright, I got a few scuffed wall jumps, but I still made it up here, so we don't have to hit the belly. We just hop up and get in business immediately. Oh yeah, I should explain that. I'm gonna try to get that parry again so that I can explain what's going on there. Alright, let's just wait for Kraid to do that again. In rookie mode, all it takes is one beam shot to break these nails. I just want Kraid to do the punch again so I can show you how to optimize the parry. Normally in boss fights, taking parries is a loss of DPS, a loss of time. Damage in the parry is reduced. So what happens here, I take the parry, I aim up, and then reset, and I don't take the parry. You don't actually have to fire up, you just have to aim up to, like, move away from where the aim was forcing you to aim. And then you can fire normally without triggering the parry. That's how it works. No, actually you have to hold free aim. Never mind. You hold free aim and let Samus aim away or up or just like aim away from where the game forces you to aim. See if I can get that again. Just resetting the pattern. Now, give me the parry, bro. Not the nails, the parry. Not bad, the parry. There we go. So you hold free aim to aim away from where the game is forcing you to aim, and then you can start shooting. Parry, shoot. Okay, you don't have to press shoot, but it's fine. As long as you aim... So the game forces you to aim at Kraid. You free aim to interrupt that. As long as you interrupt that forced aim, you're out of the parry. Because if you take the parry, you're forced to watch it to the end. And you deal reduced damage because that's just how parries work. So yeah. We just don't do that. Alright, now we have Diffusion Beam. By the way, one thing I failed to say earlier, why are we doing Kraid? So we could have actually skipped Kraid. We could have just gone to Varia Suit, gone back to Ceries, and then just like roundabout, go back, open some buttons and stuff, and go to Dairon. It's actually faster to kill Kraid and take Diffusion Beam and then go to Dairon. One, because you can take the purple portal straight to Wide Beam, which is what we're going to do now. You're going to save time in a few places later in the run where not having the Fusion Beam means that you have to do some pseudo shots. And just because it's faster, if you have a good Kraid boss fight and do this route, it is a bit faster, like something like 30 seconds faster or more than doing this roundabout in Ceries. And the problem is, in this route, you have to take some detours because thanks to doing EMMI Warp, we didn't get the Atom button, we didn't get a lot of the buttons, so there are some detours that you're probably going to have to take, I think. No, you're not going to have to do this button at the top of Atom, but you're still going to have to do a few detours and stuff. So it makes for a slower route than if you were playing, for example, NMG and could just pick Kraid or Dairon, right? Anyway, this route is faster than going around Ceries, which is why we're doing that. So yeah. Quick charging to get rid of that blob fast. And we're on our way to Dairon. So this is a very unique way to get into Dairon. Obviously we aren't going to Darren through the main door. We're just backdooring with purple TP. It's pretty nice that this is even possible. Unrestricted doesn't really come to life until the late game in this category, but thanks to EMMI Warp, we get a little bit of unrestricted stuff to, you know, pass the time, I guess. So we get into Darren through the purple TP, which means we're very close to White Beam already. And as a side effect, we are going to skip a few parts of Darren, a few crucial parts of Darren, and you're going to notice that very soon. Oh. Alright, trying to get these quick hops as neatly as possible. Very little wasted time on the quick hops and the climbs there. Hey, how will final boss be? We probably won't be doing that today, but final boss is going to be Raven Vkex with beams, without hyper beam, without Metroid Suit. And there is White Beam done. So in this route we get White Beam after Morph Ball, which is unthinkable. It's nothing short of a miracle how this is even possible, because the early game is so like, oh, so locked behind stuff. Like the early game is so well designed that it's, the sequence breaks we have there is basically limited to those early game pseudos and not much more than that. So we go through the hot rooms because we already have Morph Ball and Wide Beam. But there's one thing we didn't do. Let's see if you guys notice. Do you hear an EMMI at all, chat? Single wall jump to get up here. The alternative to the single wall jump is to kill that drone and do a coyote up here. But if you do the single wall jump, it just means that you're cool and it's a little faster than the coyote, right? So yeah, just do the single wall jump. It's nice. So why is the EMMI not spawned? Because normally, the first time you go to Darren, you would not have the Morph Ball. You wouldn't be able to leave here. It just seems like such a natural exit point, didn't it? You grab Wide Beam and hop out with Morph Ball and you're on your way. But that's not what happens normally. They have this here because you normally wouldn't have Morph Ball, so you can't go back here. You have to follow this door, follow through this big room out here, go in the EMMI zone, and get the yellow EMMI cutscene. This cutscene is what spawns the yellow EMMI. We didn't watch that, so the EMMI hasn't spawned yet. But unlike the one in Artaria, we never have to come back here to spawn it. Because when we go to the central unit fight, the EMMI spawns. Even if you didn't watch this cutscene. Again, unlike the one in Artaria, the white EMMI, because if you don't watch the white EMMI's cutscene, you can't fight it. But for this one, it doesn't matter. You can fight it anyway. Luckily, exactly. It's literally how the game works. We have verified that this works this way, so it works. And it doesn't work for the white EMMI, unfortunately, so we have to do MAGA skip. That's that. And off we go. We are about to do our next trick. I'm not sure how to call it. Dark room pseudo, dark generator pseudo. Anyway, this is also relatively new tech. Behind this wall, there's a blob that you're supposed to get on the other side. And I think it's past the room transition, so normally you shouldn't be able to hit it. But using missiles, it's actually possible too. The angle for this, I'm not sure. I think it's something like 30 degrees, but I don't know exactly. Maybe I'll quickly take a look at... what is it? I know Jay has a collection of angles for various things. Let's see if I can find that. I know Jay Hina has this collection of angles for various tricks, and I'd like to find that. Maybe it's research. Maybe it's help. Let's try help. Damn, I can't find that. Aim until only the bottom half of the projectile is visible. Well, I mean, at the very least, I do have a setup. So you can do it like this, just DT slide with the missile. If you hit the blob, the screen shakes, except for the first hit. The first hit doesn't do anything. After the first hit, you get that explosion sound. Oh, I got it. I didn't even need to use the rebind. Nice. So this is what the pseudo looks like. The blob would be normally right here, but we can break it from the other side with the DT slide missile pseudo. This doesn't work with beams. It has to be missiles, but it's optional. Apparently it saves something like 12 seconds, 13 seconds. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen a comparison. I've only heard from someone who did a comparison who claims to be like 12 seconds. As with Seam Suit, learn it, but it's easier by spamming and adjusting. Well, I guess it depends. I don't do well with adjusting unless you're doing the rebind method. But if you're just like winging it with every attempt, that would be hard to adjust. I can adjust that way. Also break the first shot of diffusion. Yeah, that's another point that I wanted to mention. The first shot on the blob can actually be done with diffusion from this side. And you don't even have to DT slide diffusion. Just like diffusioning at a like high point like here is enough to do it consistently. If you unleash diffusion like on the floor level, it's not 100% guaranteed that you'll hit the blob. But if you jump, it should be okay. Like that. Well, you can aim upward like that. That should have taken the blob first hit. Let's see. Yeah. Damn it. Okay, so you can tell that the diffusion shot worked because the very first missile that I fired immediately got the audio cue that I hit the blob. As I said earlier, if you fire missiles first and you hit the blob, the first missile that hits the blob, you will not have that audio cue. So I only got that because the diffusion shot connected. So you want to aim it like around here. Like to the top part so that it connects with the blob. If you aim it down, there's no guarantee that it will hit. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You really want to aim up here to get it consistently. Now, there is another way you can do this. Remember that I have a rebind on my right stick to mirror the left stick. You can use the rebind method to get this consistently or more consistently. I'm going to explain it in full so you can actually see me hitting the blob. This is what I do in runs because I find it more consistent. If you have more consistency, just like just retrying without rebind, then props to you. I struggle with that. That's why I do the rebind. So you want to, let me just confirm that this is it. Actually, I'm gonna check my world record just to confirm the visual cue because I haven't done this in a while. I think it's best that I confirm before I show you so I don't introduce any wrong steps. Okay, I think what I do is I try to fit the red circle inside this brown thing. This like plank on the wall. I believe you want to completely fit it inside there. So then you just try your best to hold this angle and do the DT slide like that. I want to mention that DT slide with missile has a slightly different timing than with beams. Beams you want to fire like the first frame that Samus turns around, but with missiles, I think it feels a little different though. Well, I don't know, maybe it's the same, but it always felt different to me. At least they're going through pretty effortlessly. Okay, no, maybe it's the same. Okay, well, maybe it's the same. I could swear that it feels a little bit different, but maybe it doesn't. Anyway, if you're not getting your shots through, make sure to adjust your timing, adjust your angle. If the shots are not going through, it's most likely your angle, but it could be the timing. If you're on timing and it hits the wall, then yeah. But it's around the same timing that I explained for the beam. So this is me just aiming straight forward. That's never gonna clip with missiles. It clips with beams, but it never clips with missiles. Missiles only start clipping like around, I don't know, 20-ish degrees. So now they're clipping. So basically you want your missile, the missile hits the blob if you aim it like at the, like around the border when it starts clipping the wall. It doesn't clip, it clips, and like the first few like the first few degrees where your missiles start clipping, that's where you want to aim. That's this point right here. You try to fit the red circle inside this plank or plate or whatever it is, and that's when you got the angle. This is a good way to visualize it without any, without anything else in the way. That's basically the angle you want. I think this is something like 30-ish degrees. It's not quite 45. It's a little lower than 45, so probably 30-ish. But yeah. So once you get that shot, you're ready to get Morph Bomb. And yeah. After Morph Bomb... Wait, let me do this climb properly. Yeah. You can destroy those enemies with a charge shot and beams. And there we go, we got Morph Bomb. So the only trick we have now after Morph Bomb is called the backdoor flash shift. We have some juicy movement before then, but no tricks, no involved tricks. Not yet. Because we don't have grapple beam, we can take the shortcut down there. We have to take the morph tunnels. In Unrestricted, we only take grapple beam after speed booster because it's more in route than taking it early. And because of that, we also are going to have to do Barenia a little slower than we would have liked to, but that's okay. I'm not a golfer, but I try. You can kill this enemy with one charge beam, one missile, and one uncharged beam. Or spam. Spam beams works too. But it's just hard to line up out of that water section. Alright, we're gonna go to Barenia. And I think I have time to explain backdoor flashes, so we're gonna do that. I'll be right back. Alright. So, most of this section is just movement. You want to drop a Morph Bomb to kill that enemy and get down here. If you press ZL underwater with Vario Suit on a ledge like this, your Morph gets like, you get like extra momentum on your Morph. So, we make use of this mechanic here to go a little faster. Killing those enemies with missiles, some of them we get pushed by some of them, but have to kill others to not get stalled. That was a decent water section. You can do it a little better than I did there, but that's alright. So this is one of those atom rooms that we're able to skip because we did atom skip in Ceries. See how the room is not getting locked? We can just go right through. I do want to explain this here. You can grab the magnet, of course, but you can also make this jump with a coyote jump. By jumping just as soon as Samus's feet touch the water. It's not something that you can rely on, like see the visual cue. You have to know the timing of when that happens to jump, because if you're waiting to see the visual cue, it's already going to be too late and you're not going to make it. So you just have to learn the timing. If you don't feel too comfortable, you can also like just jump to the magnet, but that kind of beats the point of doing this jump. But yeah, the timing is when Samus just dips the feet on the water and you immediately jump. That's what I want to see. You just want to see the splash. You don't want to actually like go in the water. Making use of that morph momentum on the ledge. Just sliding in dash melees, optimizing movement as we can. Alright, so this is the last trick I'm going to explain for today. Then I'll stop and I will try to continue tomorrow, because there's a lot to cover and it's really hard to do this in one sitting, where I want to make sure I explain tricks well enough that if you guys watch this afterward in the archived version, I wanted to be able to follow and do the tricks on your own with as little trouble as possible. Anyway, back to a flash shift. So normally you'd have to do this pretty long underwater section, do lots of twists and turns, and then end up at this missile cover to get flash shift. But we can actually just backdoor flash shift here through this shutter door by using bomb jumps. There are two ways that I know people do this. One is, so you have to use bomb jumps. There's actually another way that you can do is by like spamming wall jumps in a very specific way and morph. But this is something that was used with turbo. It's possible with no turbo, but it's really hard to do, so I'm not going to talk about that. I don't really care too much. If you watch Japanese runners, they will do a mixture of bombs and then these wall jumps, and that works. But I'm gonna explain how to do just the bomb jumps, because I think that's more consistent. What's up, Mr. Azerti? Hi, did you do an access queue? I didn't follow this live. It's okay. I haven't done it yet. I probably won't get to do it today because this stream is running long. I'll probably just I'm just gonna have to end soon. But I will be back tomorrow, same time, to try and do the second half of the run and hopefully finish it then. And I will eventually turn that into a more concise edited video. Yeah, I'm not gonna add anything to the video. I'm just gonna like trim it down and make it a bit more streamlined, a bit more concise. Remove lots of these checkpoint resets that I'm doing and breaks and everything, right? But yeah, we haven't gotten to that point yet. We'll probably get there tomorrow though. Tomorrow we're gonna do the unrestricted gauntlet and stuff. For now, we're gonna finish with vector flash. So how does this work? You come in here. The way most people do it is that you just lean on here with the morph ball. I actually have to learn this version because I do it a bit differently. No, actually, I can only show my version. I see most people jump on the door and drop 2 bombs, but I do it different. So I line up with this part of the ceiling. I jump and drop a bomb, and I go to the right and drop another on the way down. Wait. It didn't open because I touched the shutter, I think. Okay, so this is what you want to see. It's a bit difficult to explain timings. I want to drop, like, I want to do a full jump. Let's see. and I'll drop the bomb like halfway, like on that line, more or less. That's it. So you press B to do a full jump, and you drop your bomb around this line in the background, and then another one near the peak. Actually, maybe past the peak. I think I'm dropping the first bomb too early. Okay, so all right, let me try to do the full explanation in one go. So you line up with this little corner here on the ground. You do a full jump. You drop your bomb on the line, like lined up with this line in the background. You do a full jump, and then as you drop the bomb, you go to the right and drop another bomb near the peak of your jump. Let me do a clip of that so I can explain the rest on the Switch clip, because it's probably easier. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to drop those bombs, and then you want to jump to the first bomb, drop another, reach the other bomb, and drop another when it explodes. So you basically have to drop your bombs when the previous one explodes. And what you want to see is your bombs spaced out like this. They're decently far apart. If they're too close, it's not going to work. If they're too far, it may not work. It may work, but this is like more or less what you want to see. So from the ground, the bomb is actually perfectly lined up with that line in the background. But yeah, the hardest part of this is to synchronize your jump with the first bomb explosion, like here. I went too early, I think, and this one just worked. So what happens in the rest of the trick? So you drop the bombs, and then you jump on the first explosion. Right, rather you jump to touch the bomb right when it explodes, drop another bomb, do the same for the other bomb, and keep going back and forth. So when you explode the bomb on the left, you move to the right. When the bomb on the right explodes, you move to the left. You keep doing this management with your control stick. Now you go right, now you go left, now you go right, now you go left, until it opens. Let me do a full run of this, like actually going to the other side. Well, that didn't work, but I feel like it should have. Okay, so why am I stopping here? I'm actually going to clip the thing again. So how many jumps do you have to do? That's what I want to clear up with this this second clip. Wait. Okay, so this is where I reset. So you jump, so line up with the corner, do a full jump, drop bomb on the line, go to the right, drop near the peak or a little past the peak. I think there's a bit of leniency here. Then jump to the first bomb when it and try to line up the like your jump to when it explodes. And now you're gonna have to learn to drop your bomb to replace the one that exploded, like as much on the dot as possible. And you have to do this back and forth about 8 times. So let's see. Like first bomb, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On the 8th bomb explosion, the door opens and you try to land on the middle of the shutter. This, if you land there, the shutter obviously is not going to close on you and you're through. So one thing you have to be careful about here is if you start walking to the right now, the shutter is going to close. Actually, let me let me save in this room here so that I can showcase that for you. I'm gonna collect flash shift by jumping over the shutter, and I want you to see the difference. Now I'm gonna do the trick again. Oh, if you dash melee near the end of the ledge, you get a clean landing. You have to dash melee and respin in the middle of the dash, like dash melee and press B. You get a clean landing there. So, oh, all right. I'm gonna do this one here by jumping over the shutter. Very nice. Now I'm gonna reset back to save point and show you what happens if you just walk through, right? Because I can just climb up here, grab, flash, and leave, right? Now let's go back and do this from the save point again. This is something you're gonna have to watch out when you do the trick on your own. You're gonna have to watch out for this. We do it again. And this time we don't jump over the shutter on the way out. See what happens. Oh, shoot it in the dash melee. All right. Oh. Okay, so now we're just gonna roll over to the transition. See what happens there? The shutter is red. That means the shutter has closed because we touched it on the right side. What happens now is we're gonna have to wait for the shutter to unlock itself, which takes time. So I would have already left the room, but now I had to wait. See? If you walk through or roll through, you're gonna activate the shutter, and that is gonna make you waste like 5 seconds waiting for it to reopen on the way out. So that is why you have to be in the middle and then jump so that you get teleported here via the cutscene. You never actually touch the shutter. So on close, you jump out, you jump up here and flash out, and you don't lose time. So that's an important detail to keep in mind aside from the bombs. So as for the bombs, some people will claim this is like a 150 BPM rhythm. I don't know anything about that. I just like learned the timing on my own, like just trial and error, and I just do it. I don't know if it's 150 BPM or something else, but you could use a metronome with that timing, or you could use something else. For the way I do it, I'm not sure if it's 150 BPM or different, but it's probably not too different. Anyway, if you think a metronome or like maybe a music that's also at 150 BPM helps you do this trick, you can try. But you can also just try to grind it on your own without any metronome or anything else. Just figure it out. This is not very easy to learn. You're probably going to struggle with this for a lot of time, maybe an hour or two, until you nail this down, because you have to make sure that you land on that first bomb as it explodes, so that requires a little bit of timing. And you also have to learn to do this back and forth correctly, managing that left and right movement correctly. And make sure that you pace yourself dropping the first 2 bombs, because that's very important. That's going to set the tone for the trick. If you don't do that well, the trick is not going to work. Nothing else is going to work. And that is the rhythm that you have to follow to drop the bombs. One last thing is you don't want to be doing the bomb jumps too close to the gate, because then it's not going to open. That's why I dropped the first bomb out here and the second one goes closer to the gate. You really need to make sure that you do this. You have a rather wide left and right movement, and that you're not too close to the gate, because then it's not going to work. But yeah, this one is definitely not easy to learn, but it's also worth, because in this category, we don't get grapple beam early. So your alternatives are this. If you had grapple beam, you could come here, and doing backdoor flash is only like 15 seconds faster. But you don't have grapple beam in this category, so your only choice if you don't do that trick is to come here and do this underwater section. And this is kind of slow. I don't know how slow, but it is pretty slow. Maybe like 30 seconds or more. Some people claim to be 40 seconds, but I haven't done this in a while, so I don't know. Oh. But either way, you have to go all the way here, climb this thing. Like, this takes time because it's underwater, right? You have a lot of extra section to go through. So at least 30 to 40 seconds, I think is accurate to say, is the amount of time you're saving by doing the backdoor flash. So definitely worth learning. It's not like water slope skip that only saves 15 seconds versus going to the bottom water section. This one saves 40 seconds. It's definitely one of the more worthy tricks to learn. In all categories, this is something that you're going to do even in a glitchless category, right? But anyway, I'm going to stop here. We're already running late. This stream is almost 4 hours long. I wish I could have been a bit more concise explaining tricks up to this point, and that would be a little further along the route, but this is already over halfway of the run. So the halfway point of this run is about the time you collect diffusion beam or bombs, morph bombs, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's around the halftime. So we're already past halfway in the run. We don't have any tricks to do after this point. Up until screw attack. That's when the gauntlet of unrestricted tricks really begins. Actually, we do have a few tricks to do, but I'll cover them later. Like tomorrow. We have some pseudo shots to do here in Barania that are coming right after this. And in Dairon, we don't have any specific tricks, I think. Wait, Dairon, not Artaria. We got to do speed booster, but there aren't any tricks, like any glitches, anything special. We go back through the hot rooms. There's nothing in particular that matters. There are some tricks that I'm probably going to showcase just for fun in this section. But yeah, the real fun really begins after grapple beam. We're gonna have like trick after trick after trick with no break, and thankfully I already have a full tutorial on aim down clip and bomb HQ, which I'm still gonna like go over the inputs live tomorrow, but it's really complicated to explain how to do aim down clip and bomb HQ because the tricks are pretty complicated. There's a lot going on. Like, they happen in a fraction of a second, but they're just so complicated to explain. Anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out here today. Did you guys like the explanations? Do you think you can actually do these tricks now? Because I hope that we'll see more unrestricted runners in the near future. But yeah, this is already running a little long, so I think I'm just going to finish tomorrow. I'll start at the same time. What was it, 11 a.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Central European time. I'm going to start at the same time as today, and we're going to cover the rest of the unrestricted route. I really hope that I can finish it a little sooner, but yeah. It will probably end up being like a 2 or 3 hour long video to explain the whole route if I can trim down everything, but I don't know. Well, I hope it will at least be a bit more concise, but is what it is. Like, there's you guys only see the 40-minute run like as my world record, as my PB, but there's so much going on in there. There's so much knowledge there is so much knowledge you can have about every trick, lots of fine details, lots of little things that just go unsaid. And you need to know that if you want to do the run and if you want to learn those tricks, and it can take time. Those 40 minutes really can be drawn out to several hours, and I think that's what we're gonna do with this stream. Anyway, tomorrow we're gonna finish this. We're gonna wrap up the unrestricted walkthrough, And going forward, I'll probably be clipping each part of the run, like all those little tricks. I'll probably like clip them into their own videos, in addition to the full run walkthrough. I'm probably gonna like clip parts of the run and split them into smaller videos, like one video for early cloak, one video for tutorial skip, so on and so forth. And I'll be uploading them, I guess, as we go on. All right, chat. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. I hope you look forward to the trick gauntlet tomorrow. And I'm sorry, I was actually hoping we could finish everything today, but it takes time. It takes time. And if there are any tricks you guys want to ask things about or struggling with that I'm going to cover, feel free to come by and ask questions on that. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, folks. Have a good night. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.